Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this Saturday morning, April 26th, the last Saturday of April, to the, here we go, to a brand new live episode of the Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of The Stream, with me, Dave Lefkowitz, longtime host and producer of the show. I mean, really long time. We're in our 23rd year. I still have my working Jewish space laser, so I'm very, very excited by that. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That'll wake you up. And what else? I've got the teeny tiny trampoline. So let's say.
You gotta put on the.
I gotta do the finger cut? All right, hold on.
The leg warmers.
Oh, I get it. See, it comes with leg warmers. Probably the last week of the season that I could do this without my fingers sweating horribly. Here we go. It's just something. Hello, little girl. Come with me.
Put the other one on me too.
On this finger? Right there? Okay, all right. Here, let me do this. All right, so I'm going to try this on my middle finger. Here we go. Okay. Does this look okay? Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh, this is. What was her name? Not Jennifer. Jennifer Beals. It was like, what a feeling, bouncing up to the ceiling. Yeah, you're watching. I don't know why you're watching Dave's Gone By, but you're watching Dave's Gone By with me and my wonderful, adorable, and amazing wife. Hello, wife. Wife is sleepy. Well, we were up early. We were up at like 4 o'clock or 4:30, and not just for the usual pee. We just couldn't get back to sleep, but you crashed out for a bit longer. I was just like, and then by 5 o'clock, I'm like, okay. Then
need to sleep on your new pillow.
Start my day. I have a surprise for Potato.
Oh boy.
Potato? Hi, Debbie. Good morning. How's your Saturday going?
He doesn't need his knapsack. He has no school on Saturday. Why is he wearing his... Oh, he's going to the yard sale.
Yeah, this is where he keeps all this stuff.
Yard sale.
Yeah, I've emptied it. Mm-hmm. So, Potato?
He likes going to yard sales and flea markets. Who knew?
Why? And you know why? Because we look for special things. Like this that we found in Target.
You left your big special thing in the car.
I'm big. Crap! Oh, well.
Show it next week.
I'll try, yeah. No, I found something in a dumpster earlier in the week outside Walgreens. And I was like, I must have this for potatoes and things. It's really, really, yeah. But what we did get, and this was not in the dumpster, we actually purchased this. Oh, Potato, you're going to love this. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that potatoes love ketchup more than anything else in the whole wide world, because this is what they live for. Well, Potato, look what we have. Ketchup in its nascent form. Tomato. Huh? Here, Potato, why don't you try sleeping on it for a little bit? See if this is comfortable for you. All right. I don't know if this is really going to work, because it's got the writing, it's got the thing. And it's got... Yeah, no. Were you going to give advice to Potato? Let him be. But anyway, we're very happy to have Potato with us in the Daverhood. Happy also, of course, to have Pooey. Pooey's in the Daverhood with us as ever. And we also do have a human guest in the Daverhood coming up in just a little bit. And he is a long-time veteran actor, director, or even producer. And he's got a new play out that's being done in Los Angeles from now until mid-May. It's called, this will show you the level of guest that we get. Not my level. My level's all the way down here. I'm an old idiot. But this guy, he took philosophy in college, and it has informed everything that he does, whether it's in film or in theater. And he's been doing theater for 30-something years. His latest play is called Aristotle Alexander. Aristotle hyphen or slash.
I
Look at
do
the
not
slash.
like Aristotle. I liked Augustine's dialogues. Oh, one of my frogs is on the floor.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, he's there. We'll get him in a bit. But yes, it's all about this kind of. I don't know if you would call it a friendship so much as a shifting power dynamic of tutoring, wherein Aristotle, who's this great brain, is brought in to help young, like 13, 14, 15-year-old, eventually to be Alexander the Great, learn about not just politics, but art and culture and people and society and stuff. And of course, they do clash and butt heads here and there in the play. So the play is being done by a company called Company of Angels in Los Angeles. It's been around since the late 1950s.
In where, Los Angeles?
Yeah, LA, you know, little.
That's why Angels.
Oh, Los Angeles, Company of Angels.
I forgot one.
Do you know who appeared there? Do you know actors who have appeared in that theater?
You?
No, I never. No.
Who?
Leonard Nimoy,
Oh God, Shatner.
and no, not Shatner, and Vic Tayback.
They own a theater.
No, they
With that
acted
company?
there. They were part of that company that was formed in 1959, I think
Does
it
the
was.
company have a theater?
Yeah. There's Company of Angels Theater, a little off the beaten path in Los
I didn't know if
Angeles.
they were just a group that found places to.
No, I think they've got a space. It is the Company of Angels. Good question. Good question. It's the Company of Angels Theater that is over on, where the hell is it? On San Pablo Street. So, Angels and Saints. Anyway, the creator of the
Tell me
play.
more about the play when you
Yeah,
go.
well, yeah. It's a really good conversation he's going to be having. The actor and director and creator of this play. His name is Alex Lyras, Lyras.
How do you know him?
I know him because many years ago, I'm talking early 1990s.
Did you work?
Oh my
together?
God, 90s.
What?
It was like 30 something years ago. I reviewed a one-man play that he did. When he was, nobody knew, he was first starting out. And he did one of these shows where he wrote it and he plays all the characters, different characters. So it shows him off as an actor. It's a real showcasey kind of thing. But it went very well. It was good. And it went very well. And it kind of brought him forward. And I don't know why we kept it. Maybe I interviewed him for a piece I was doing for Playbill at the time. Or he liked my review. Because I gave him a good review. And remembered that. Or somehow we were in touch more than Mike just going to see his show and reviewing it. Something else was there. So, and I was wondering, what the hell happened to him? His show back then was called Desperelics. Desperate relics of society. Desperelics and these yuppie people. As I said, it was good. But I was like, okay, now what? And go figure. He went out to L.A., and he's been writing plays, and he's been, like my friend Phil, who co-writes.
Yeah, but is he performing? No.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's an actor, too. He does some bits in TV. He's been in some of his plays. Yeah. He's
Like Phil.
Yeah, well, Phil isn't an actor, but Phil co-writes. My friend Phil Halpern, who's been on this program, has a co-writer of his screenplays and stuff. And this guy has been writing with plays and screenplays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in fact, more screenplays than.
Like what?
Well, Lisa, they're not. You know how Hollywood works, and we'll probably talk about this. It's not that these movies were made, but the deals were made. So he got a paycheck, and he didn't get a movie. What? This is how Hollywood works.
So.
Yeah.
They pay you.
Mm-hmm.
To write a script, and then they don't use it, but you still get paid.
Yes. That's how it. That's how.
Why don't we write
Hollywood.
Let's write some scripts
No
for
kidding.
Hollywood.
That's how people make most of their money out in Hollywood. They get a script, they make a deal, it goes into development, and the writers get thousands of dollars, and the movie starts to build, and they find a director, and they find actors, and then there's a change at the studio, or the studio wants to put money or energy, and then it goes in turnaround, and it's gone. It's dead.
That's crazy.
It's a horrible, crazy, heart-killing lifestyle, but you make money.
Can they stop it at any
Oh, a studio can be 1 week from starting to shoot. And then they say, oh no, this other movie came out and it's too close. We're going to, kill it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the biz.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an awful biz in a way.
Unstable.
Yeah. And all, you can't put your heart into it. That's the thing. You've got to just keep writing, keep working, keep churning out scripts. And you sell one, and then one's on the front burner, and we get an agent for another, and then maybe every once in a blue moon, aha, we get something on television, you got pilot.
They make it. Wow.
Yeah. But that is the unbelievable
The pilot,
rarity.
The pilot doesn't necessarily become a series, right?
No, of course not. No. And the movie, they might make a trailer, or they might make a short version, and then, it's so many reasons for a place not to make a movie. There's so much money involved. There's so many reasons to say no, up until the moment that they say yes and can't go backwards.
Yeah, but it makes sense. If they know it's not going to work, they're going to have to stop it before.
Yeah. But I mean, how many thousands of good, scripts, playable scripts, fun movies, interesting things, are on shelves. And we're this one contract
It's
away.
like the one Columbo where the girl becomes a movie executive in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then she makes a beautiful movie that she likes. It's a crime thriller. And she thinks it's going to be big, and then they just put it on TV. And she's like horrified, that this was her big, movie. And all the people are watching it in the room, and they're like, oh, it's okay. And she thought it would be like the next Godfather or whatever. She thought it would be like a next...
I remember that Columbo. So she kills the...
Well, I think she kills the director. Like, they're in a relationship, but he's going to leave her and date someone else. So she kills him to take over the... She's like the AVP or whatever underneath him.
Yeah. Who were the actors? I don't remember this.
I don't know names. She's got beautiful curly hair. She's like... And then at the end, the final scene...
Yeah.
They're shooting a film. She's in charge of a production in like an amusement park.
Yeah.
And he's in a trailer with a lot of cameras, and he sees her on camera. She sees him on camera, and she's talking to him through the cameras in like a trailer.
But how'd she kill him? I mean,
no, she's talking to Columbo that way.
I don't remember that one at all. Sounds cool. But that's what I mean. Or
she's frustrated because she thought like executives would come in and say, "Oh my God, this is like the next best thing, and like we're gonna make it a blockbuster." And they said basically where they're going to put it on like at dinner time during TV or something.
That happens too.
Another big show, no one's going to watch our show.
And not to mention that any writer of a screenplay, unless you're a mammoth or something like that, knows that, okay, they're going to make the movie. And the movie's going to look nothing like your script. Yeah. Then they're going to bring in 10 other writers, one to add jokes, one to add better structure, one to do this, one to that. I mean, one to make sure that this lead actor who's really, really famous has enough lines, and it's cookie cutter stuff, and it's amazing that good movies get made, and they do. But if there's an understanding, if you're a writer out there, that you are, everybody loves you when they want something from you, and then the second they get it, you're under the train.
But you get paid.
If yes. If they buy your script, which is another, then yes, then you get paid well.
Oh, that's good.
So that's
much, like 10,000?
Oh, it's probably, if you establish yourself, it's probably a lot more. Well, who can live on 10 grand if you think about it? If that's your job, is trying to sell scripts and be a writer, and they give you $10,000 after a year and a half of work on something and pitching it, and no one can. It's nuts.
I know.
They've got to give you
Do you want the
money.
fan on, or are you okay?
No, I don't know. No, are you warm?
Yeah, that's okay.
But anyway, I'm doing this spiel. I've never pitched. I did pitching back in NYU, but I never went that route. Because it would have broken my heart. I would have killed somebody or myself. I just could not have gone through the level of peaks and valleys of that kind. I get enough in theater, which is why I've almost given up theater. But I don't know if I could have gone through that. But Alex Lyras has gone through it and triumphed in it, and is still comfortably living in LA, writing, directing, producing. He produced a friggin' movie.
Wow.
Honest to gosh, $500,000 film. Yeah.
What was it?
Can I
have your phone? I want to look on your Facebook.
Sure. Here. I'm sorry, I forget.
Is it one that was on TV or in the movies?
It might have been for streaming, or we're talking about independent, $500,000 budget kind of film, not something that's going to be in the multiplex per se. And I know Natasha Lyonne was in it. I'm forgetting who else, and forgive me for maybe I have the damn title. I make notes and then I don't bother to consult them, which is rather stupid.
Another writer's going to change them anyway, so.
But anywho, it's going to be really, really fun for Rabbi Sol Solomon to chat with Alex Lyras, actor, director, producer, and creator of the new play, Aristotle. I keep wanting to say Aristotle Aristophanes. It's Aristotle Alexander, playing at the Company of Angels in L.A. now through mid-May. So there's that. And then what else is going on? On the show today, we're going to keep the show relatively short, basically because this is, if it doesn't start a downpour, is a great day here in northern Baltimore for garage sales, yard sales, thrift store sales. All these things are happening. There's a garden sale locally. There's probably a farmer's market. And my wife knows how I'm drawn to these things. For no good reason. We almost never buy anything, or I buy like a $2 piece of shit. But there's something about, there's crap, and it's on sale, and it's cheaper than crap that I would buy at Williams and Sonoma,
Better than that you get from the dumpster.
Well, yeah, the dumpster's the best of all. So I like doing that, and we don't really get that much of a chance because half the year is winter. It's the East Coast, so they don't do anything. And we've been running back and forth every other weekend back to New York. So to have a day when we can sort of be like, oh, let's jump in the car and drive to this and drive to that and drive to that. I'm like, yes, I will even sacrifice the length of my show to do that. What are you looking askance at? Uh-oh, what?
I thought I heard it.
No, it's me just rambling. But
heard music.
La 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 la. No, so yeah. We'll be here. We're not going to be here till noon, but we'll be here about 2 hours or so doing our usual stuff because we do have our guest. We also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Bruce, Colorado. There's a little tiny part of a neighborhood, apparently that's called Bruce, Colorado.
Like the name Bruce?
And guess where it is? And I'm pretty sure I know why it's named like this. What we remember from Colorado, and we were passing all the time, when we would...
There. You have some music on. Oh, it's here. It's on.
Oh, it's on your phone. Okay.
It's your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I remember Colorado. I don't know, not Bruce. What's Bruce?
Bruce was, I guess, the original owner, or maybe the current still owner of a place named after him.
Oh, Bruce's Bar.
In Severance, Colorado, yes.
Is that the name of the town?
It's not even the whole town. Apparently, I guess the area where Bruce's Bar is, because it's connected to Severance in that area, is Bruce, Colorado. And so it's in Wiki. I can't find it really anywhere else, but they mention it in Wiki, so it must be true. And I've written a short limericky poem about it that I will share, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Also, if there's time, I may save this for next week, but I do want to take the time because I just saw a Broadway show last week when we were away. Went to Lincoln Center to see the revival of Floyd Collins. Get rid of that. Floyd Collins was a musical, I think, if not back in the 80s, certainly the 90s, by Adam Gettle and Tina Landau, and she is directing this version as well. She directed it 20, 30 years ago. And it's, oh boy, you want to talk about let's have a fun time at a musical. If you want to talk about laughing, joyful, musical comedy kind of ideas, right? I mean, forget Hell's a Poppin', right? Forget Ain't Broadway Grand. forget my favorite year, don't even think about things like Book of Mormon. This is fun stuff. Floyd Collins is. It's all about this guy from a hard scrabble, kind of fairly religious family that lives on the earth, lives on the dirt, and they're miners, they're cave miner people. So he has this idea to go in, find a really great cave, and turn it into a museum an attraction for people to come see it. And then, put up signs and rides and vendors and all these things. So he starts to go in and investigate the cave, right? And goes deep and deep and kind of wedges himself in. And then he gets seriously wedged in, and he's stuck there and dies. And I'm sorry to give it away, but that is literally the plot of Floyd Collins.
Oh, well. Let me cancel my tickets. Wait.
So, and this is, by the way, it's a 2.5-hour, 2-act musical that played off Broadway, I think at Playwrights Horizons many years ago. They've now revived it because the score is generally agreed to be an exceptional score, a serious piece of musical theater art. So I went to see it. I never saw the original. Went to see it at the Vivian Beaumont Theater in Lincoln Center, and I'll tell you what I thought of the new Floyd Collins. I think I would have liked it more if it was Uncle Floyd Collins. If they all go into a cave and Oogie's there, and Charlie Stoddard, and the Ramones come in and they do a couple of songs and that makes it a musical. I think I would have preferred that to regular Floyd Collins. But anyway, and I will do that. And of course, we have Greeley Times. Stories or phone calls that come into the police department in Greeley in northern Colorado from people requiring help and assistance like me with my throat. So that is the basic template of Dave's Gone By today, our 983rd episode of the program. And yes, I do realize that we're a little late with the box of Manischewitz Extra Moist Yellow Cake.
I love the numbers look great with it. You did a nice...
You made the numbers.
It's like 1983. I'm having a...
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a flashback for you. But yeah, I know Passover's over, but we didn't get to do a show last week, so that's kind of a leftover. And I think we mentioned that we baked together, but you did most of it.
No, we did it together.
The Manischewitz yellow cake that I haven't had really since childhood. Well, teen 20hood, when we would have Seder's at my mom and, at that point it was my mom and dad's house. And we made it, and it was good. If you tried it, it was good.
It wasn't awful, yeah.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't awful. That's your quote about Manischewitz moist. Extra, not just moist, okay? Extra moist yellow cake. And let me tell you something. If you're dealing with Passover food,
oh God,
and things that are not made with bread and yeast and whatever, but made with like matzah meal, and you can make it extra moist, you're doing something right, right? And I'll tell you, it's still, they haven't, in a good way, they haven't changed the damn thing. It's exactly the same stuff. Maybe they tinkered with it, but I don't think so. The same stuff I was eating when I was like 11 years old and making this myself in the kitchen. That was why I would make that in the charoset, and then Mom and my grandma or my Aunt Bonnie would make everything else. But no, this was my thing, the charoset and making the cakes. And, put them in a little toaster and bake them up. And to this day, it's still like when you make the frosting, because it's this yellow cake,
yes.
And then that's made, and then you make the frosting separately, right?
Well, tell the people, I think why we made it so good is because we were watching the Junior Bake Off. They were saying get air in and when you mix, you have to get air in the batter and don't over mix it.
Yeah, so the cake batter was great, but I don't know how they haven't changed this or nobody's complained about this. They tell you to make the chocolatey frosting on top.
Yes.
You take a tablespoon of butter or margarine, soft butter or margarine, and like a teaspoon of really, really hot or boiling water. And if I tell you, going back to my kidhood, that will not make a frosting. You have to put in like 4 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons of the hot water, or else you still basically have powder. You still have granular stuff. And we would always do it every single time. We would try and follow the directions when I was a kid. And it was like, it just became a clump around the butter, or we would do margarine because we had to serve it at the Seder with meat, and it would just be this clump ball of buttery brown stuff with granules everywhere. And we just keep adding more hot water, so it would turn it, and then half the time you make it too runny because you keep stirring it, and then the hot water would really work. So you've got to just hit that right sweet spot. But I do wish they would work on that. I do wish they would fix that up and figure out the exact way to make frosting. Instead of having people scratch their heads and go, this is not frosting. This is just a lump of chocolatey sugar stuff with butter in it. Anyway, hope you had a happy Passover. Hope that you had, as they say, an easy fast in this very, very difficult time for everyone, not just Jewish people. But yeah. What else do I want to mention before we really talk about what we really, talk about when we went back again to New York. They're having this really weird ad campaign on the New York subway cars. And I will preface this by saying that I saw yesterday that there was a poll or some kind of study done. And allegedly, and I don't believe this is true, allegedly Baltimore is the dirtiest city in America. I don't say we've been to regular downtown Baltimore, as like in terms of litter, in terms of dirty. Baltimore is the dirty. Now we don't live in.
They said that Baltimore got off like the unsafe list, so we're off the.
Yeah, well that's good.
I don't know.
So maybe it's schmutzy, but here's.
Look at New York is now composting their trash. They have every place in New York has rats. So how can?
Well, I'm sure Baltimore has.
I mean, New York's got a lot of little furry friends. Like I think it's like, those college lists. I think sometimes it's inflated or like world's best, doctor or world's best whatever. I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean you have to take these things with a grain of salt or a grain of frosting mix. Oh, looking good.
Your shirt looks so much darker. Look great.
On camera. You mean on real or on
the TV?
Yeah.
On the TV.
I love the contrast. It does. So there is this.
And the numbers look richer. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh well, that's TV for you. That's cameras. If you go on the New York City subway, you know how now their ads are like one side of the car is basically the same campaign with all this different, and then the other side of the car is another campaign. They're all related to each other. Sometimes they repeat, kind of like when they used to do with those poems. When they used to have these little short poems, and they put them. And now they're doing an ad campaign, and this was for New York and something called Street Easy.
What is that? Street Easy?
Street Easy, like streeteasy.com.
Is it for cleaning?
I'm pretty sure it's basically wanting to convince people to move to New York, to live in New York, to buy in New York, like to buy apartments, to buy houses. You can't really buy a house in New York.
It doesn't make sense. Street Easy?
Yeah, try it. Look up Street. I didn't have a chance to look up the site. StreetEasy.com.
Full words?
What?
Like no weird spelling.
No, EASY. StreetEasy.com. Let's see what they are.
This is Street Easy. Oh, it's like a platform, to sell real estate. It says
it's realtor, yeah.
No, not just buying. It says the easiest way to rent, buy, and sell within New York, and then it says all the places. Street Easy. It says. Okay, it says, is it only in New York? It says, yes, it's primarily focused in New York City.
Oh.
Go-to platform for New Yorkers. It's built for Zillow for New York City. So they're saying it's like Zillow just for New York City.
Well, perfect, yeah. And you probably get more deals or something like that.
Yeah.
So their thing is, hey, don't just visit New York. You want to live in New York. It's New York. It'll always be New York. Come move here. Get an apartment, rent a place, buy a place if you can. So, okay, and there are times I feel like that and times when it feels very appealing because it's still New York. But their campaign is very kind of, it's not even hipster, it's just sort of, you look at it and you go, I guess? So what they do is they have pictures of people out in suburbia. And the folks in suburbia, they're showing just basically having to mow a lawn. They're sitting there kind of bored, looking at flowers in these gardens. They're at home, they've ordered a pizza. And it's, it should be, there's this sense of New York is better than all that. And they're trying to get that across. They're trying to get the thing across that New York City, in particular, Manhattan, is more exciting than staying at home and just ordering from the pizza place. Or, if you live in Manhattan, you don't get flowers. But you don't really want flowers. You don't want a lawn because you have to mow a lawn. It's this, what is cognitive dissonance almost of showing people who are bored in suburbia, even though they have houses and land and low crime and trees and nice things to look at and not rats and garbage per se. So give me, if you want to give me a clean, pleasant one-bedroom in a doorman building within 3 blocks of a subway for less than the cost of my 4-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom house with a large yard, quiet neighbors, and avenues that you don't need a shoehorn to walk down, I'll bite. And maybe you can't. Maybe you can actually get a nice apartment for, I don't know, $250,000, $300K still, and buy it. But then you're going to have a maintenance fee of something like $1,500 a month, or an equivalent of an HOA, where suddenly it's like, no! There was something struck me about that ad of saying you're one to show how awful suburbia is, but it still makes suburbia look kind of good. And they're knocking the things as like, you don't like noise? It's like, you're in a place where there's very little noise. And it's like, come to New York where it's noisy all the time.
Some people like it.
I know. It's a clever campaign, but I just don't know. Like,
but it's appealing to like bright lights, big city, right? Like you don't want to be in the out in the outskirts. You want to be where the action's happening. It's like,
But that would appeal to 20 and 30-year-olds who haven't moved away.
That's not true. Look at the one librarian from where you work. She was like, I said, "You're retiring?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "We're gonna leave where we live on the island and we're moving in the city so we can just like see shows and do stuff and be like, do all that." So
yeah, I mean, New York does force you out of the house. And they were writing about someone who had this amazing deal. It was like $2,500 a month for a studio. Oh yeah. I mean, my wife is talking about an old friend of mine, a late friend of mine named Richmond Shepard, who had this convenient apartment up on like 49th or 50th Street and 8th or 9th Avenue. Was nothing special about that. It wasn't a dive, but it wasn't particularly nice either.
It was small, you said, right?
It was small, and it was there. And he didn't put a zillion whatever into it because he was always busy with acting and directing and running out to the coast and teaching mime and doing all these things. So it was just this I won't say dingy, but it was this okay New York apartment in the heart of everything. And I'm sure it was rent, if not rent controlled, certainly rent stabilized or something. I don't know if it was in one of the actor quote-unquote buildings that they have that I tried to get into years ago. But I don't know. And that apartment of his would probably rent for $3,500 a month now. And it's just, I get it, but I don't get it. I still don't really see it. But anywho, what I see is that it's after 9:30 already. Oh my God. In the Daverhood Eastern Time on this Saturday morning. It's April 26, 2025. We're doing the 983rd episode of The Dave's Gone By Facebook, your podcast, your program, over the stream. Hunter, are you feeling criminal?
Wait a second, I hear something. I hear music.
Oh my.
Wait, there's some criminals approaching. Hold on.
Oh my.
Hold on, honey.
Sure. I'm getting my iTunes up, yeah. Uh-oh. Are you going to throw them here?
Oh, for you.
Oh, I thought you were going to. Why don't you give them a whirl? Oh. Give it a. Oh, that sounded like it's stuck. That's all the way up there. That's great. Oh!
I have to throw overhand,
Well, don't throw like a girl. Here we go. Oh, yeah!
And there's one more here. Please let this one be. Oh! I hear the here are the people who want to be on the.
The chickens are coming.
It's the chicken parade.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them. Hold on.
Wait. Not sure why we have a ton of these, but oh, no. Oh, wait, that one over there. Got him. Oh yeah. Oh,
whoa, David.
Wow.
You're like one of the and the sloth just fell. You're like a pitcher or something. You know, like those big sports team people. Who wham! Look, he's hanging by one little sloth thing.
Oh, look at that. And here I am.
Oh God, look at his.
Oh, the sloths are really they're walking down there.
Oh.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna stop holding my cock right now in order to answer the phone, because this is Greeley Times. These are phone calls that come into the Greeley Weld County Police Department from people who are having issues with stuff going on in their neighborhood. It's printed in the Greeley Tribune.
This happened before they had ring neighborhood stuff.
That's true. I'm surprised these haven't lessened, since people can literally see what's going on. But okay, here we have our first.
You gotta see this.
Oh, show me.
We fixed our camera, and it's facing the rug. Look what it's taking a picture of. That's our rug.
Wait a minute, that's our camera?
Yes, it's live. It's charged.
Oh, because we have we charged it in the living room, and it's showing our rug. All right, here we go.
I'm looking to see if there's any neighborhood.
Any problems locally where we live?
Hear what's going on.
We live in northern Baltimore County, by the way.
A white cat is lost, very shy.
Oh.
Missing.
So if you see the pussy, don't touch it immediately.
And this one says.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what's up with the helicopter? That's always good.
When was that?
Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
And someone lost a little bird, Budgie, the little bird.
Oh.
Anyone
Somehow
else?
I think the white cat found it.
They said anyone else not have water this morning? Anybody know why there's so many cops at Target?
Oh, we did get an announcement from the water. They're going to be shutting off our. I don't remember when.
So that's why this was another area, not ours. You know who did it? That stupid cat.
I know. Oh, those white cats.
Oh, I heard
the bell for Greeley Times. A caller. I'll do the trampophone.
Oh wow.
A caller at a park on Glenmere Boulevard said that a group of people on the ice, I guess this was a few weeks ago, were climbing on the...
No, I think he means they're on the ice, like they're drinking ice.
Oh, that could be, or doing ice.
Yeah, they're on the,
Yeah. Well, they were climbing on the bird shelter in the middle of the lake.
I'm going to give you this.
Yeah. Oh, I have a sad trombone. That's our spare. I got one. Listen. So, I guess they walked on the ice to get to the bird shelter.
Yeah.
One home said they were okay going back from
That's a far walk. I wouldn't do it. We know that park.
Yeah.
Go like this. You have a little.
I got spittle on my mouth.
You look great. Okay, Poopy.
Next.
Do you want to shoot the bunny?
I beg your pardon?
This will make you feel better.
Oh, yes.
That was kind of. Where's the bunny's launcher?
It's got to be somewhere in all this.
I have the bunnies.
Madness here.
I can ring the bell.
Oh, a man at the Greeley Police Department. He physically went.
So show this one from the police department.
This is unconnected, completely unconnected. But a man at the Greeley Police Department said his ex got his W-2 in the mail and was refusing to give it to him.
You know what you can do?
What?
You can call the company and they can issue another.
Can we do? Yeah. I don't know. If she's not sending him his W-2, that's both aggravating and taxing. Okay, I'm going to launch the bunny. The bunny's going to be going that way.
Launch him, turn around, launch him to the wall.
Can I do that? I guess I can.
I would say turn around like.
Oh, I got to turn around physically and do this. All right. We're going to launch the bunny at the wall and see if he sticks. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope he doesn't hit the sloth. Whoa!
David, wow.
Did you see that?
Let me give you the other one. There's a second. Make the one lower so that people can see it, right?
Well, if I can. I'm lucky the thing's even getting there. Be right there, folks.
I'll give you the chicken as well. Oh, the chicken doesn't go on the wall. Never mind.
Yeah, the chicken just does chicken things. All right, here we go. We're going to launch this other bunny at the wall.
Isn't White Rabbit a song by the...
Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, that's... Is it for drugs, David? White Rabbit?
Well, it's Alice in Wonderland.
Let me do it. Hold on, wait.
There's a hair on it. Okay, got it. Here we go. I'll make him a little bit lower. Whoa! Look at that.
He's like crossing his legs and waving. Wow, he looks like, and the other one is doing some kind of breakdancing.
That's a hair racing spectacle right there, let me tell you. Oh, yeah.
Both the bunny and the sloth fell. I wonder if the humidity or the temperature has to do with how they stay on the wall, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised. And also just how old they are and how many times we've used them. And you would figure they would last for years and years and years. But
they're less than they're not expensive.
Well, for what they are. But yeah, no, they're pretty cheap. What?
Did you just make a sound like, ooh?
Yes, I cleared my throat.
Okay.
A caller. We have a caller. Where was this caller? On 3rd Street. Uh-huh.
8th and 8th?
No, this is 3rd. This is a little ways away from 8th. She said that a small white dog fell down the window well of a house. The dog was dirty. The caller thought it may have been there for a couple of days. Did I do these? I feel like I did a couple of these last time.
That sounds familiar, but I don't know. It could be similar.
I don't think I did this one. Here's another one. Here's a new one. Okay, we got a brand new call that came into the police department. I'll take it from the air horn phone. A woman at the Greeley Police Department, she went there, said she was afraid she was being scammed by a local lawyer. While she was at the department, the lawyer called her to say, come on over and we can straighten things out.
Oh, you did this.
I did do that one. I feel shit. I can zap these out last time. Okay.
Why don't you start from the last one and work your way to the middle?
So I'll read these all very quick until we get to new ones. Caller at the Greeley Mall said a teenager mooned him as she walked into the restaurant with a group of friends. The caller added the group had parked in a handicap spot. Oh, no.
That's new.
Oh, that was? Oh, okay. Whoops. All right. The caller had parked in a handy spot.
Who would moon before going in a restaurant? That just seems like, if you're hungry, like you're going into one of these fast food or mall restaurants, why would you moon somebody?
Yeah, well, unless it's like the Half Moon Cafe or the
that makes no sense.
Moonstruck Diner.
You want to get foodies. Why are you...
Well, you're going to be sitting there.
Yeah, but you're not...
Your tushy's going to be like...
Oh, you want to air out your...
Yeah, you want to be comfortable when you put your pants back up or your skirt.
Doesn't seem right.
No. Yeah. Here's another. A caller. Oh, okay. A caller on 6th Street Road said that officers were at her house earlier when she wasn't home.
Okay.
She wanted to know if they were still looking for her and why they took her dog. Because they like dogs. Because they came into your house and they saw a cute pooch and they thought...
That would be the animal control people. You know?
Yeah, or her dog is just hiding. Police are not just going to suddenly rescue a dog unless it's in distress.
I would think that would be the animal control people.
Well, if they were specifically there for the dog.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be looking for her for whatever reason.
That's strange.
Who knows? I guess what struck me, I didn't even get to bring this up. I interviewed, not for this show, but this week I was able to interview Bernadette Peters, who I talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. She was, or is in, the Broadway show Old Friends. And she's been a dog lover. She co-created Broadway Barks with Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah. Well, she has a couple of dogs, and apparently one of them is a pit. Of all the dogs to adopt, especially, I'm sure she has a nice house outside the city or something, but why would you have a pit bull?
Nobody else would, you know.
I know, but at one point it's going to eat her face.
You don't know that.
No, the likelihood is not, or might eat her husband's face or whatever.
She probably has a trainer that trained him, to be good.
Yes, 99.9 until it goes senile or sees a squirrel or something. Just don't trust it. Anyway, what place did you mention recently? The Vortex.
8th and 8th.
Right.
We have 10th and 10th, 9th and 9th.
We have a 9th and 9th.
We're close.
9th and 9th, ladies and gentlemen. 9th Street and 9th Avenue in Greeley, Colorado. A caller at 9th and 9th said, a man dropped his pants and exposed himself to everyone.
Maybe he's related to the girl at the mall.
Family. Yeah, she mooned, he dropped his pants. That's love. That's a mating dance in early spring in northern Colorado.
Why do people do that? Why do they show their, like, oh, look at the sloth and the bunny they were holding hands.
Oh. Let's see. Well, yeah.
See, they were on the bottom, but now they're not. They were holding hands.
Well, meanwhile, you can see the sloth's underpants down there. His guy, you can sort of make that out on him.
He's got to fix his pants, get a belt.
Let's do some elsewhere. This is a story that is not from Greeley or northern Colorado, but it's weird, and we love to report the elsewhere stories to you. So here's one. This is coming from, how far away is this? It comes, what I didn't, here it is, I'm sorry. Oh, this is actually a fairly familiar turf. Here's a story that comes from Brookhaven, Long Island.
Oh, wow, what happened?
Oh, and you're going to love this! You're going to love this. It's actually a really, really happy, cool story. And this was reported, I guess, in Newsday, and picked up in other places. The frogs have a new place to hop.
Oh, wow.
In the Sac.
What?
To help preserve its local frog population, a Suffolk County town has installed a, quote, tunnel of love under a busy roadway. I'm not making this up. This is absolutely...
Oh, so the frogs can go through?
Said Brookhaven Superintendent of Highways, quote, we might have some amorous amphibians. So he allocated $40,000 under East Bartlett Road. The tunnel was first unveiled 2 years ago, but recent improvements include an aluminum fence to keep animals off the road, and it connects two popular ponds that frogs can frequent, and this is not my joke, frogs can frequent without the risk of croaking.
Oh, I like that.
Apparently...
Wait, you got some people who want to hear that story.
Oh, they do! They do! Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, this one too.
Oh, we love this story. Sling Blade. You got Sling Blade. It's just a frog. I don't want to talk like Sling Blade, but...
So, they don't talk like Sling Blade. They're frogs.
I did tell this classic joke to our driver a couple of... yes, we're so wealthy that we have a driver. Not. But we were being driven somewhere, and I was like, what does a frog do when he's horny and can't find a partner? Rub it. I love that. I love that joke. Anyway, so speaking of sexual partners for frogs, apparently the eastern pond in Brookhaven dries up in the summer, forcing frogs to hop across the highway to get to the other water.
Yeah.
Well, people driving along could literally smell the blood of crushed froggies.
Ah, David.
I mean, there's so many of them.
Cover their ears.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. So, however, since they've done all this work and built this tunnel, said one environmental analyst, mortality has gone to pretty much zero.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and then they're going to have a plague like in Egypt during Passover. It's like, we need frog killers. Species like wood frogs, spring peepers, I love that, spring peepers, and great tree frogs now thrive, and their mating calls fill the air day and night. Fuck me. Give it to me, heart, ribbit. They have different, it's a different world. They have very heavy mating calls now. It's like, you bring the wine, I'll bring the flies. Said the analyst, quote, we're going to do this at least one other place up in Mount Sinai on the North Shore. You would figure of all places not to bring frogs would be Mount Sinai. But they're going to do this to protect the turtles.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, locals have not been shy to be pollywog playful. Here we go. One road shop dubbed the structure, quote, the Hoppin' Tunnel and the Frog's Neck Bridge.
Oh, I like the Frog's Neck Bridge. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's not the best, one of the best elsewheres ever.
Beautiful.
Happy things.
So pleasant.
Good for the environment, and we love frogs. And what's not to honestly love?
Like species, that's great.
Yeah, so yay. And we didn't really get to say that. About a week and a half ago, we went to this area near where we live that has a literal frog pond. A literal froggy pond. And we have never seen so many tadpoles and pollywogs as we did this last venture. I mean, it was teeming with them. And we also figured out that you call, I've forgotten. It's not a cloak of frogs.
It's like
there's a word for it.
It's like a unity. Here's the example of them.
I know it's going to be hard to see. It just looks like little dark circles and shadows. But pretty much all these little gray things are tadpoles and frogs, pre-frogs, underwater, swimming on their little muddy thing. So if you look at them, it's not very pretty in this picture, but you see them, and then they kind of get spooked, and you see a little cloud of dust, and they go swimming along with their little pre-arms. It's the most adorable,
look and see what they call
adorable thing. But I don't know, because there's not a herd of frogs.
No, it's not. It's tadpoles, David.
Oh, sorry, yes.
What do you call a group of tadpoles? What do you call a group of tadpoles? A knot, a school, a cloud, or an army.
A cloud.
Some also say a cluster or a spawn.
A spawn of tadpoles, a cluster, a knot.
A spawn makes sense because they're
They're spawned, yeah.
A knot makes sense too because they do tend to. Remember, we saw the whole group. We never saw that groupage. Oh.
So and late in the summer last year, we did actually see one or two full-grown frogs, which we almost never see there. All we ever see are tadpoles and pollywogs and things.
Yeah.
But so it'd be great to see if these things do blossom and we see frogs. Yeah. I don't know if just birds all eat them or they just disappear. They go hopping somewhere else. So I would love to see that. But to see these little swimmy things is just it gladdens the heart.
It'll be nighttime, yeah.
Oh, not that. It'll be light until 8 o'clock at night. You'll see them. It'll be dusk. And they'll be out with their little transistor radios listening to the ball game. Those little chairs, the beach chairs they have.
I like that, that's true.
Yes.
A lot of them will be getting their eyes checked. Some of them will be in the lab getting blood drawn.
Oh, well, yeah. And however, it might be cloudy, it might be a little misty, but it'll certainly be froggy. Yeah. Let's do one or two more Greeley Times, and then we'll get to our interview coming up with Alex Lyras and the other stuff that we have to do on this episode of Dave's Gone By. Here we go. A caller on 67th Avenue. Let me grab the chicken phone. She said that she ran into a tree with her car, and the airbags didn't deploy. I did this one last week also? Yes. God damn it. A caller at a laundromat on Reservoir Road said a man walked in with drugs in his hand and headed to the bathroom. Yes. She said, I did this joke? Yes. She said, is that all? And he said, no, it's tied. Yes. I did that. Yes. How about this one? I think I did this one. A caller on 9th Avenue said she was attacked by a cat. Mm-hmm. She said she was pegging a stray and it got mad at her. And I sang, strange kitty, mean kitty, kitty full of rage. I did, yeah. I got to do one new one. A caller at a grocery store on Central Place Drive said a man in a dumpster was outside scaring employees. I did that one? Yeah, well, he's in a dumpster. Just wait till it's collection day. God darn it. A caller at a grocery store on 35th Avenue saw a drunk man chasing a teenage girl around the store. Caller said they left the store and last saw them heading south on 35th Avenue. I couldn't have done all these last time.
You did it.
Oh, no.
Because you made the joke.
How about this one? A caller at a fast food taco restaurant on 35th Avenue. What was it?
I don't remember. Go ahead.
Said that a man got out of the passenger side of the vehicle in the drive-thru, leaned in the window and yelled at employees. I am guessing that he yelled, "Do you have a toilet? This can't wait!" I don't remember doing that one. Let me finish these last two. A caller at a hotel on 29th Street said a man who was not a guest was wandering the second and third floors of the hotel doing kung fu in the hallway.
I think you said that, but it's still funny.
Yeah. Maybe he was in the wrong neighborhood. He just wanted to go chopping.
Oh. I think he was just doing exercise then.
He Reiki dumpering. That's an in-joke. A caller at the Greeley Mall reported a car in the parking lot ran into a pole and nobody was getting out. And then, they did the same thing when they ran into an Armenian. All right, ladies and gentlemen, old and new, those are Greeley times for this Saturday morning, last Saturday in April of 2025.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
No, he was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi,
Yay.
yippee, yippee, yippee.
Oh, my friends, you're watching the 983rd episode of Dave's Gone By. I hope you're enjoying it. There's more to come. We've got our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. I'm going to review the Broadway show Floyd Collins at Lincoln Center Theater, and also do our Friends of the Daverhood. But before that, I do want to remind you that if you want to know more about this program, go to davesgoneby.com. DAVESGONEBY, davesgoneby.com. This is not just a place where you can see... What, Ben?
So, the Lufthansa plane
Yeah.
was diverted after a passenger got an iPad stuck.
Wait, what?
It says, jammed in a business class seat. I guess they were afraid the battery would overheat. Jammed in a business class seat, deformation due to the seat's movement.
Yeah.
And then they diverted it because they thought it would overheat.
Oh, you gotta be.
The battery could have exploded. So somebody got their iPad stuck in their seat. And they
How much damage can you just walk away from those seats?
No, on an airplane?
Yeah. It's not gonna blow a you think?
Yes.
There's an iPad. Even when the Israelis put, these devices in the cell phones that the Hamas people had, it just blew off their balls because they had it in the pocket. It didn't blow up entire stores and stuff.
It would have been a fire hazard, they're saying.
Oh, well, yeah, that's why they have extinguishers, presumably, on planes.
They do.
I think that is an overabundance of caution there.
I don't know.
Maybe. Do I know? I honestly don't know. But I'm just saying, the phone blows up, kaboom, get away from those seats,
Honey.
have the extinguisher ready. Can we go through some of the things my viewers sang me, please?
You need a garden planting. That's a garden.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it? Lemon tits, very pretty, and his lemon boobs are sweet. Anyway, davesgoneby.com is my official website. It's also the place where you can literally hear and watch virtually every show we've ever done. We've only missed a couple over the 22 and a half years we've been doing this program. So it's free. You can download or also stream and just watch on your computer from episode 1, which was a radio program on terrestrial radio in Long Island, to the episode we did last week, which is a Zoom show with video and everything else. All the way through, years and years and years, tons of celebrity guests and fun friends who have been on this show. Thousands, quite literally. I mean, we're up to episode 983, and some of our shows ran well over 3 hours. So it is technically thousands of hours of content and comedy on davesgoneby.com. Plus, if you go to archive.org, we have our archives there as well. It's the same stuff, but if our website ever goes down or you prefer to support archive.org, go to the Dave's Gone By channel. We put our audio archives at castbox.fm. If you are particularly into podcasting and you don't need to see the show, but you want to listen to it while you're on the train or on the go or on a unicycle, that's a good place. Cast like on your arm, castbox.fm. Plus, of course, we have this Facebook page where back, up until a few weeks ago, you could scroll back and see almost every video program we've ever done. Now Facebook is starting to delete programs that are more than a month old. I don't know why. I don't know if their bandwidth is suddenly a terrible problem. Whatever. So Facebook is no longer a great place for the archives, but there you go. And we do have a YouTube channel where most of our stuff is. Some stuff got deleted because we had copyrighted music. We were, a DJ radio show too for a while, a long while. But Facebook, we're going to mute this, or this is blocked in 17,000 countries.
You can still do it in the
Where?
In that website that you host on.
Well, davesgoneby.com, absolutely.
You host on that Castbox, yeah.
Well, yeah, the audio is there. Not the video for the later shows, but so you've got a couple of different places to get the same great stuff. davesgoneby.com, though, is really the first place to start, and I hope you will. Anyway, it's a little after 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. We have an interview with a very talented man, an actor, a playwright, a screenwriter, director, producer of films, too. Been out there in L.A. making his way for many, many years after first kind of starting off in New York and off Broadway.
I do have a new look.
Oh, show me.
This should be our new look. I think you should get your hair like that.
I know.
Not wear the suit.
Hold on, I just lost here it is.
I think that's a good look,
And I love how you think I should have the hairdo.
I gotta start getting the hair ready now. I'll have to go to Michael's and get some yarn. And later on, you'll show your new Easter baby.
Oh, yes.
Later,
Yeah. Well, I'll introduce him to potato and everything else.
Later.
Yeah, later. But first and foremost, let's get to Alex Lyras, Lyras. Alex Lyras. He did a show called I can't talk. Desperelics.
It's two things you said. It's a hybrid of two words. You said.
Oh, well, Desperelics was the show he did many years ago. His new show, which is on right now in Los Angeles at Company of Angels Theater, is called Aristotle Alexander, about their, teacher, mentor, boss, subservient slave relationship. And unfortunately, I'm not the person who's going to be interviewing Alex Lyras. It's the one, the only, the beloved, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon, who got to talk to Alex yesterday. They pre-taped it before Shabbos. So I'm going to have to share my screen with all of yous. So let me just do that. Hold on. They changed. I've got to put my glasses on to do this, as a matter of fact. Share. Oh, I guess I'll just share my desktop. That makes life easy. And then here's the interview with Rabbi Sol, and we will be back live after the interview. But you don't want to miss it. It's a very, very fun, informative conversation. If you've ever tried to write a screenplay or a play, or you care about theater, or you care about philosophy, which I'm too dumb to talk about most of the time, well, Rabbi Sol goes at it with Alex Lyras. Oh, shalom, my friends, shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, the founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And let me tell you something. The person that you are looking at right now, an actor, a director, a producer, is someone that the producer of this program, Dave, watched many, many years ago on a New York stage during one of those one-man shows where, they try and impress people by doing so many characters, and the characters go back and forth real quick. This one was pretty good. It was called Desperelics, and he wrote a very nice review of it. And he always wondered, hey, whatever happened to this guy? He was very talented. What did he do? Well, we're finding out what he's done over the succeeding 2.5 decades because Alex Lyras is with us, and not only is he just sitting there in his house, his pretty house with paintings all over the place and books, but he is now doing a show that he's written and directed. It's called Aristotle Alexander, and he's doing it in L.A. You can actually see it being done by the Company of Angels Theater on San Pablo Street now through the middle of May. Reviews have been excellent for this thing. With one person noting that it doesn't become a message play, but it still says a lot about today's problems through yesterday's lens. And check this out. Another critic wrote about Aristotle Alexander, writing for the NoHoArtsDistrict.com. Samantha Simmons Ronceros raves and says, Aristotle Alexander is an utterly sublime play. Perfection from beginning to end. Unquote. Nobody's ever said that about me. Nobody even says that about God, for come to think of it. But we have the godlike Alex Lyras with us in the Daverhood. Shalom to you, Alex.
Shalom, Rabbi. That's quite an intro.
Thank you ever so much.
I knew it would be good, but that was impressive.
Was it oppressive or impressive? I
don't have any notes.
Thank you ever so much. So let me ask you, first let's talk about Aristotle Alexander, because it's about this great thinking, brainy person trying to coach a young person who would become Alexander the Great. So how did this play come about? What were you thinking about? How did it develop?
Yeah, it's a real moment in history, which is amazing that these two monoliths passed each other for 3 years. Aristotle was in Athens, and he left after the academy, Plato's Academy, which is a very famous, probably one of the first universities ever. He should have taken over the academy, but guess what? Even in ancient Greece in 385 BC, a lot of politics. So the head of the academy goes to Plato's nephew, and Aristotle's like, I'm out of here. So he got an offer to go up to Macedonia. There were a few things in between, but he knew that's where he was from, the north of Greece. So he knew King Philip. They played together as boys. And now King Philip is a rising power, and he says, I want my son to have everything I didn't have. I want him to have that Athenian patina. I want him to know about art and culture and everything. So he invites him up, and Aristotle tutors him. And we really don't have a lot of information about that, except that it happened. We have some letters. We have some ancillary sources that talk about it. And that, to me, was the perfect area for imaginative play. We know what Aristotle was talking about because we have the writings from the time. He was more of a naturalist. He was working on biology at the time.
Oh, he didn't walk around naked. That's a different word. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Although they may have.
Back then.
So I don't want to discount them. And that might be a good addition for the play, But and Alexander was a typical entitled 13-year-old, which growing up in Scarsdale, New York, I know a little something about. So they butted heads. That was for sure. And that's represented in the beginning of the play, where Alexander's like, oh, you're very interesting, but I'll not be needing your services, Aristotle. You can go back off to Greece. And Aristotle's like, oh, I heard about you, but it's nice to meet you, and you are the most entitled, insufferable, spoiled little brat I've ever met. So yes, it's at heart, the play is a teacher-student relationship. I've surrounded it with things that Aristotle has actually said from the text, so I slipped those in. And historically, it's pretty accurate. There are some battles that occur that are little signposts throughout the play to keep it real. But it was a perfect subject matter for me to go. People know both names. People know who they are. So there's some recognition there that helps sell the play and makes it a little bit of a commercial product. But I want to tell you, Rabbi, the best part of doing it was going up to Thessaloniki, which is the largest, incidentally, largest Jewish population in Greece.
Yes.
They're amazing up there, and the museums are amazing, and the art is amazing. But going up there to write the play where it actually happened, that was awesome. I went to the actual locations and took my laptop and wrote the play in these places.
Now I do want to ask, you are Greek, I'm assuming. There's that. Was this the first time you've been to Greece, or only the first time you've been to Thessaloniki, or what?
Yeah, I've been a few times. We go many times as kids, and now I go regularly. Thessaloniki, I've been to a few times before, but going anywhere with a purpose is awesome. It changes the whole visit. You're not just walking around like a tourist. There's 3 locations up there that are important. Stagira is where Aristotle was born. Verhina is where the palace is, the palace of Pella, where Alexander is, and then Mieza is where
the poison in the palace of Pella in the chalice. I didn't know if you knew that.
The palace and the chalice, brother. You know it.
Yes.
So,
yes. Continue.
I went there, and it just seeps in. And in the play, Greece in the summer, you always have cicadas, and at night you always have crickets. And I recorded those there. And those are in the play.
Oh!
The goats are constantly passing. I recorded those. So, we immerse the audience in I don't know if they don't know that, but yes.
There's actual Greek crickets. This is amazing.
Crickets.
You know that I also have done theater. And I had, when I was doing my comedy, I heard crickets too. But they weren't from Greece. I don't know what.
No, they were from Manhattan.
Pretty much, yeah. So let me ask you, as someone who's also written a play and things like that, how do you have an arc in a play like this, a dramatic arc? Because you have the situation, right? You got the kid is being taught by this guy, and they butt heads about things. But how do you add a thing where it isn't just they talk, they argue, and at the end, how do you have something where there's like, oh, this is building to something, and then what?
So it's a great question, and it's the difference between beginners and advanced writing, how to keep people interested. Arcs are based on a couple different things. They're plot arcs, they're character arcs. Characters change, and then you realize there's an arc to it. But for this, there's 2 other characters that are essential in the play, and Olympias is Alexander's mother. And Socrates, not to be confused with Socrates, they were contemporaries, but Socrates passed away in 399, and Socrates lived for another 50 years. We had his letters. So when I was talking about extant sources and verbatim sources, Socrates wrote letters to Philip. And so the arc of the play is the battle for Alexander, young Alexander's soul. On one side is Aristotle, and Aristotle is saying, have temperance, use moderation, use rationality, don't believe in the gods. If you want to be a leader, you don't just conquer, you have to rule. You have to rule after. This is why we go to war. We go to war for setting up life afterwards. And on the other side, because Alexander is not yet king, is Olympias. And Olympias and Socrates sort of align to say, don't trust Aristotle. You are a god. Your father is Zeus. He came to me in the form of a snake, wink, wink, in the middle of the night. 9 months later, you were born. And Socrates is saying that Athens has lost its way. It's in decline. And rather than ally with the enemy, Persia, let's ally with Philip, who's at least Greek. And Philip, please lead us. I have your back. I am talking you up in Athens. So we would rather be with you than with Persia, which Athens was very close to getting to, allying with the enemy. So the arc of the play is kind of the question is, which will Alex choose? Will Alex choose rationality over mythology? Will he choose grounded over, making himself the center of a cult? And it pushes back and forth, and you can hear the contemporary themes. This is really resonating with what's going on right now. We don't have to get political, and the play does not take a stance either way. It's just holding up a mirror. So how do you create an arc? You need conflict. That conflict needs to escalate. And then you have to have your protagonist, or everyone in the ensemble has to be affected and change. And that happens throughout the play, and it's what keeps audience members engaged. Pretty much every scene should be a question.
Now, this sounds like you've gone and done playwriting classes and gone to theater school. Did you, back in the day, what was your college life and beyond that in terms of training?
Sure. College was awesome. I went to Bucknell University in Pennsylvania, and I was a philosophy major and an English minor. And that's where all this was introduced to me.
Actually, I will stop you right there. So do you regret? I guess not. I mean, people would ask you, of all things to take in college, if you're looking to have a life and a career and pay for a roof, you have a roof over your head. Philosophy. Are you delighted that you took that subject as an undergraduate in college?
I am. I mean, and I keep mining it, because it's so deep and there are so many books to read and conversations to have that it shaped my thinking in a really important way. I would encourage everyone to take something. You don't have to take ancient Greek, which is a little bit more challenging, but the contemporary philosophy is amazing. All of the continental philosophers, Nietzsche and Schopenhauer, Sartre, Camus. I like the people who did, fiction and literature rather than straight up philosophy. But philosophy trains you in critical thinking and how to entertain an idea without accepting it. And
so which of the contemporary-ish, European-ish philosophers do you most align with? Or do you take a smorgasbord of everybody?
Or it's a smorgasbord, but Nietzsche, for as cliche as he's become and kind of stereotyped as he becomes, really encourages the artist to be radical. And one of his famous sayings is to philosophize with a hammer. So take chances and ignore the hoi polloi and write for tomorrow, not for today.
Nice. But we are talking, by the way, with Alex Lyras. He's the author of Aristotle Alexander, which you can see from the Company of Angels Theater in Los Angeles from now until mid-May. Reviews have been so good, I have to figure there might be talk of bringing this elsewhere or even to, shall we say, New York. Gotta wonder if you're going to get yourself back there. But again, how did you go from being just another New York actor to having a life in the arts and entertainment and career in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, dedication and sacrifice. And so I went, after Bucknell, I went to law school because that's what I was told I was supposed to do. High school, college, law school job. Law school was in Chicago, and my friends were graduating from Northwestern Theater School, art school, which is one of the best in the country. And I went to see their shows, and my whole person just was resonating and vibrating watching their shows in the theater. I knew that's what I was supposed to do. And then I trudged back to, read and write briefs. And I left law school, but Chicago opened me up to Chicago City Limits, which was improvisation, Second City. I came back to New York and I studied at Chicago City Limits, which was their satellite improv spot. And from there, I took some dramatic classes, and I was a bartender. And it was there was a few moments of feeling insecure when people who said, you were in law school, what are you doing now? Like, you're acting, suddenly you're an actor. That I was a late start. That was 23, 24 years old, but I had a knack for it. And the first show that I wrote that Dave came and reviewed was called Relics, and that was me being behind a bar, listening to people my age and other ages monologue about their life after having a couple of drinks. And I was taking notes in my head. And so those monologues were about postgraduate, hyperventilation through life. And it was really funny. And I worked on that for probably a year straight and produced it at the Gene Frankel Theater. And Mike Nichols came. I had studied with him, and my friends had studied with him, and he came and cast me in a movie across from Annette Bening. And so that was my first trip to LA, which is the right way to go to LA. You go to LA with something, as opposed to, hi, I'm here, along with 10 million other people who want to be famous. Before you continue the story, since you bring up Mike Nichols, one of the legends
of improv and theater and directing. Do you have a particular memory of him or a funny story or just something that he taught you from watching him do what he does?
Yeah, I mean, so we became friends after that, and on the set, cell phones they weren't new, but they were relatively new, right? It was 2000, right? And Mike was very calm on the set, and his notes were really pragmatic because I was expecting, intellectual, because he's an intellectual as well. I was expecting intellectual notes, and he would just come over to me and just say, put it all together. Put that whole line together. You're breaking it up, or don't take a pause. So watching him work was really interesting because he was very pragmatic. And during one take, someone said we were doing an AA meeting, and Annette Bening was speaking in front of AA for the scene, and he had set it up for hours, and someone's cell phone went off, and he just turned around and looked at all 100 people, and it was more like 50, and said, "J'accuse." So he just blamed everybody. And that was also a fun way to bond everybody, and instead of being mad, but he was shooting film, and it's very expensive, and to lose a take at 1 a.m. because someone's cell phone. So, but the point is, he never lost his sense of humor, and I think that is so crucial when you're working in the arts. If you begin to take yourself too seriously, we've heard all kinds of stories of actors confronting directors who feel overly important. So I think one of the lessons I learned from Mike was never to take it that seriously.
Wow. So you have this level of success. Desperate leads to LA. LA leads to, through Mike Nichols.
It led to some TV deals.
Yeah.
Led to money. It led to getting into the unions. I got insurance. I came back, my dad was happy that we got a TV deal off of Desperate Alex with Warren Littlefield at NBC. And I bring all these things back to New York. I have the video of the show out there. The TV deal was for the largest sum of money I've ever been paid. I was writing with my co-writer, Robert McCaskill. So we each get a chunk of money. We get into the union. We have insurance. And that's my dad's most favorite moment. My dad's looking through, this insurance is the Cadillac of insurance. I can't believe the Writers Guild is. I'm like, Dad, I hung out with Annette Bening,
That's right, but for him, the PPO is much more.
You have dental.
Your dad was right, actually. I mean, great to hang out with Annette Bening, but still. So at that point, though, LA is all about getting a deal, getting some money, and then they don't actually make anything.
That's my story to a degree. I think they're getting made 20 years later. But my writing partner and I, Rob McCaskill, have had 4 or 5 deals. None of them have been made. We've been paid for them all. I bought a house. I bought a car. But, your network grows, and the assistant becomes an exec. And people who are actors start to move onto the development side. So now, literally 20 years later, 4 things are happening at once, and this play is happening, and a film is happening, and another film is happening, and so it's good. It's worth. You have to be patient. Everyone wants to jump in and look at me, and people even that get TV shows and that get parts in movies or get movies and made. It's not. That doesn't mean it's done. After that, it's still a struggle.
Well, let me ask you, how did you get together with Robert McCaskill, whom you did a lot of screenplays with, and not theater work too, but mostly
mostly theater work, mostly theater.
Oh.
So that's the story of leaving. So I went to Second City, the famous Second City, and I can't remember who was there in 2000, but it was like Jim Belushi and John Kapelos and these other actors who were in movies all the time. And I love that. And I left and went back to New York and realized they had Chicago City Limits, which they would teach you improv like there. And Rob McCaskill was the director of the touring company for many years. He was the best teacher there. So I immediately bonded with him. And he's like, I have a dramatic class. You need to come and do some Shakespeare and do some David Mamet monologues and do some. So that was in Tribeca. That was like crazy. It was like 9 to 11 in the morning at this Tribeca lab. And I was living in Westchester working as a bartender. So I would, get up and drive into the city and take the class and get 3 parking tickets because I was trying to, feed a meter and missing it by 1 second. They need to take all the meter maids in both New York and Los Angeles and put them in high-level government positions. Because if you're 30 seconds after your meter goes off, you have a ticket. I'm like, you guys how do you do it?
And that's how they pay their salaries, I guess. Is maybe they get bonuses for every
Yeah, those people should be running the world.
In hell. But so I mean, and you're taking this 9 to 11 in the morning, and probably take 3 hours of sleep because you're a bartender.
So Rob is awesome. Rob says, don't audition with the same David Mamet monologue that everyone else is doing, the Tony Roma monologue. Write your own. So I would write my own monologues for auditions, and the casting director would say, "Oh, that's really it. What's interesting?" And I'd say, "It's from a new play." And I would do my own monologues, and before you know it, I had 5 or 6 of them. And then we did a show, and Rob directed it, and so that was the first show. That was called Desperelix. And then Rob and I would co-write these shows. I would act, he would direct. We would take a nice juicy year of writing and development, sometimes more. The second one was called Unequilibrium. That occurred right after 9/11, about a year after 9/11. And that was one thing before 9/11, and then it changed. And we also wrote to certain messages, and we wanted to have our plays not just be laughs, although they were always comedic. The play after an Unequilibrium, was called The Common Air. And that was 7 characters linked by an airport delay. And that was the one that really broke it open. It really went well in New York. It went well at LA. We did it regionally. So theater was always our bread and butter and our foundation. We did another one, yeah.
But let me ask you, he would direct, but you would co-write the scripts as well. So what did he bring, or does he bring to a script, and what do you bring? I mean, how do you mesh?
That's a great question. I think I'm the research and philosophy guy. So I would study in The Common Air. We had a character that was an American who kind of got seduced by to become an Iraqi terrorist. Oh. He was from Iraq originally, but grew up in New York. And he ends up going back, and he's so mad at America that he kind of gets seduced into a terrorist cult. This was a story that was not uncommon at the time. We had a couple Americans who were over there.
Now we have 20,000 college students who are doing it. Yeah. So there you go.
That's sort of exactly what we're touching on. I think it would resonate again today. So I would do a lot of research and figure out the locations. What kind of Iraqi are they speaking? Where would he live? What gun would he have? That type of stuff. And then Rob was really good with structure. Like even a 30-second monologue has a beginning, middle, and end. Rob has an encyclopedic knowledge of Shakespeare, so he knows the sonnets, he knows all the plays, so he would be able to touch on a reference that was like, oh, we could do a King Lear thing with this, or this is more like Edgar, or this is more like Romeo. So we had a lot of structure. We talked about arcs earlier. He taught me about how to keep an audience engaged and how to structure a play, and also questions. Every scene is a question. Every scene should leave an audience with something to talk about. And the overall goal is when the play ends and the audience leaves and goes out into the night for a drink, did you leave them with something to talk about, or are they just going to dinner?
Wow. I mean, it's just, I just love hearing you expound upon these things, both philosophically and also structurally. I mean, they make me want to sit down and write a play now.
Do it. I mean, I know you have a background in it, and I know you love to do it. And the whole thing is just that these things take time, because every writer finishes and thinks it's ready to go and sends it out to contests or says, let's put it up. And just because you finished it doesn't mean it's ready.
Right. But also somebody's got you have the luck of getting it put on. Even if it's off Broadway, even if it's a small theater in LA, it gets on, you do it, people see, they rave about it, as we've said, and then, you're in a place where an agent takes a look, a person at the studio takes a look. Can I ask you though, because you have this sense of learning to wait, to know that it might take a year or 50 or 20 years to get all the irons in the fire. What was your greatest heartbreak as a writer? Was there a thing where you thought, I'm on the cut, this is going to happen, and then it didn't happen?
Yeah, the first one. I mean, look, they keep happening. Last year, we had an A-list actor attached to a film. The contracts were signed, and then something happened.
Who? Come on, name names. You don't have to be nasty about it.
I won't because we're still in it. It's an actor that everybody would know. It's an actor that's...
Sherman Hemsley. No.
Everybody. Tallulah Bankhead.
Yes! There we go.
No, I mean, it's still alive. It should have happened last year and it didn't. But it was a comet, a hurricane. I used to have this guy at my church at Holy Trinity in New Rochelle, say to me, hurricanes, Alex. Hurricanes, they come into your life. You don't, 2 days before, you don't expect it. They come into your life and then they're gone. And then you have to clean up your life. And I think it's true.
He sounds Jewish. I got to tell you. Yeah. He may be in your church, but this guy's Jewish.
The Greeks and the Jews, pal, were this close.
Are you Greek Orthodox or just Greek Christian, or what are you? What's your
Greek
thing?
Orthodox, yeah, Greek Orthodox.
What does that even mean? I see the things with the bulbous spires and the stuff. That's all I know about you people. Tell me about you people. Yeah.
It's all you need to know. It's all you need to know. Look, Orthodoxy is they take the pride of the original New Testament was written in Greek. So they stick to that. There were some splits. I mean, we could have another meeting where we talk about all the splits of the church.
I've stopped being able to do splits since my mid-20s. I ruined too many pants.
Probably better for you, yeah. But you look great. I have to tell you, you don't need that. You just stretch.
That's true. No, my ulnar nerve. I pulled it. It's not good at the moment. So
no.
Do you still go to church? Are you a semi-religious person?
Yeah, not really, but Easter the Greek church is awesome. It's very cultural. It's very family oriented. It's surrounded around food and stuff like that. So yes, we go for the holidays, and then when you're in Greece, it's just you can't avoid them. They're everywhere. So in that sense, yes, I think philosophy made me less religious, but I all that was to say that that informs it too. So the Greek church is a big part of the culture. So I do enjoy it. But so I'd say the other letdown was the first one. Come to LA, do the show, do a movie, get a development deal with Warren Littlefield, who ends up being this giant. He produced Friends, and he's still active and at it. And everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. Your phone is ringing, and then you have these stages. The first stage is the first draft. This is amazing. We love it. Now we're going to start to talk to actors and casting, and they love you. And then you get to the early January where your pilot is going to shoot or it's not, and it's like January 10th. People have heard no, but you're still alive. Now it's January 15th, and now they're looking at locations. And now it's January 20th, my birthday, and the phone rings, and it's like, yeah, we're not moving forward. Goodbye. And not only is it goodbye, it's that nobody loves you. None of these people were your friends. All relationships in Los Angeles are transactional. So you thought like, oh yeah, okay, cool. All right, well, I have this other script. No return phone call. No return email. So that was the first lesson of, oh.
How do you not jump off a bridge or go into these offices with like an AK-47 and just start firing?
I mean, I just, you talk to any other friend, mentor, person, and everyone has the same story. The same story. So, and then, you hear about people, oh yeah, I had 3 that didn't go. I had 4 that didn't go. I have 10 pilots now. I have 10 pilots now that are all developed, and I go back and keep continuing to work on my things. And now they're really much better. So now I'm at the point where if someone says, "Oh, do you have like a cop drama?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have two. What are you looking for? Do you want it dark or is it lighter?" And then you share that, and then you realize you've put years into this, and it shows on the page.
Well, can I ask you, has the streaming thing made a difference? Because now not everybody's reliant on Paramount, on United Artists, on this. Suddenly it's like Amazon, Hulu, has that, or are you of the age at this point where, you know, they don't even look at you because you're not 20 and out of Yale?
Yeah, it's good. Look, all those things are all always factors, but that's why I kind of leaned from writing to acting. I'll still act if it's my own stuff, but writing and directing is certainly writing is timeless. Like if a script is amazing, you could be 85 years old. One friend of mine who teaches, he's almost 80, and he has a couple scripts that are happening. So yes, the streamers, the market has tightened up a little bit, and you have a lot of people looking for risk aversion. So they want to give Taylor Sheridan another deal, another deal, another deal. He's the guy that did Yellowstone. So he has 10 deals. And I don't know when he's going to write them all. I don't know when he's going to do all these things, but but yes, it's nice to have more options. The streamers have opened up the game a little bit, but writing a series has become very very challenging. Just because there's so many out there that now studios and networks want something sort of different than they want different. You could see all the knockoffs, like the White Lotus knockoffs. You can see they're not as good. It's actually a good drill for a writer to do, is to watch something like White Lotus and then watch the Showtime knockoff and see why it's not as good.
But the thing is that, you know, you're doing this play. Let me ask you also about doing a play in Los Angeles, because a couple of years ago, there was this big terror out there that they were changing the rules, like equity, or it was changing the rules for 99 cent and under theaters and stuff. Has that been a terrible big chill on LA theater, or there was a big to-do and it got a little worse, but things are still kind of the same?
They've loosened up on it, but yes, what equity did was a very odd thing. Things were hard and they made it harder. So without trashing my union, for this play I called and I said, you know, what can I do? And there are some new tools that they will use, that you can utilize to get a play off the ground. If they're on the website, so LA has like a couple of, they're not exactly waivers, but they're new agreements to make things easier. So for a couple of years they thought it was going to help, and it didn't. So yes, it's challenging. I think the most challenging thing about doing a play anywhere, but LA is first place, is getting people to come.
Oh, because everything's so spread out. It's not like a million New Yorkers living on 45th Street and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah.
So New York is more sophisticated in terms of theater. Like it's not a strange thing.
So how do you do banner ads on things? Do you put up flyers near Grauman's? I mean, how do you advertise?
The old days I miss the old days, Rabbi. I miss the old days in New York when you would paper, in New York, you'd put your posters up. You get 10,000 posters and go out and put them up. That was really fun. And you do it for movies and you do it for plays. So, you know, LA is literally, I'm going to tell you, it's literally like personal emails. You can buy blasts. The return on those, as you know, we have codes for everything to see where the tickets come from, are not effective. It's word of mouth. It's the fact that I've been doing this for many years. I've got an email list of 3,000 people, and you hope that, you know, 25% come. And the cast helps. But now I have relationships, and that's everything. Theater is down in this town 40% since COVID.
Yeah. Wow. Let me ask you, going back to movies and things, you produced a feature film. Was Natasha Lyonne in there, or who was in there?
Natasha Lyonne was in it. I produced that. Rob McCaskill wrote and directed it. It had a bunch of other really good actors in it, and that was called Heterosexuals, and it was three couples at three different stages of love. You had new love, which was actually between an older man, and then you had a couple that had been married for quite some time. and they were struggling with fidelity and issues. And then you had friends who became lovers. And it's available on Amazon and some other platforms out there, but it's a really good movie. Natasha's amazing in it. She is so funny, and she was a good pleasure to work with her and see her success as she moved on. And so, yeah, that's a really fun one. It's called Heterosexuals.
So is that shot on video, or were you still using 35 mil? Yeah.
No, we shot that on Sony's, and it looks great. It looks really great.
So let me ask, I mean, to produce a full-length movie, we're going beyond maxing out a couple of your credit cards for 10 grand. I mean, how did you had to raise the money, aside from getting all the stuff together? How did you raise money to do this?
Well, this was it was spearheaded by a guy named Bobby Spencer, who was on Broadway in the original Jersey Boys. He was one of the original Jersey Boys. At the time, he was on Broadway in another amazing musical called, it was called, I just said it the other day, something, was it Next to Normal? Not Next to Normal. It was about a family, I think Next to Normal. It was about a dysfunctional family.
Well, was the mother going crazy?
Yes.
Next to Normal. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So Bobby, having done Jersey Boys for many years, had a huge fan base, and some people had come from Texas to see the show. I think it was his friends, high school buddies or college buddies, and couldn't believe that their boy had made it to Broadway. So they were the primary funders. We had $500,000, I raised 50 to 100, I can't remember now, but it was, and then we, used our homes and used our locations, and Bobby used his apartment and we used my sister's house in Harrison. That type of filmmaking is still the best and still my favorite, rather than bigger budget things where it becomes a lot more impersonal. Calling in favors for a movie and then showing up to the location with a movie star is really fun. It's fun for the people that are involved. It's fun for the location people. So it's that was a really organic project, and we had done it as a play originally at the Ohio Theater. So Rob McCaskill wrote and directed it. His wife Celia was in it. All of our friends. Eddie Pepitone, I don't know if you know him. He's a very funny New York comedian.
Is he son of Joe Pepitone, the baseball player?
He's a Staten Island boy, so I don't know if Joe played it. I don't think so. I think Eddie would appreciate this. I don't think Eddie's dad was a professional baseball player. I just think he degraded and beat Eddie for many years. No, I don't know if he beat him, but Eddie has a really funny special about growing up in Staten Island and his dad. And eventually he goes back and he and his dad watch the Rangers game and reconcile. So he's got 2 or 3 specials on Netflix that are funny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. But again, the name of this that was called Heterosexuals.
Heterosexuals.
That you produced and wrote, or was McCaskill wrote it?
McCaskill wrote it and directed it, and it's a charming movie. It holds up, which is hard to say in this day and age. Everything 10 years old is dated, but this holds up.
Would you produce again?
Yeah.
I mean, you probably did some short films, but would you do that? Go through that again?
Yeah, I'm producing everything. So I've got two features lined up. One's a New York story that was supposed to shoot last year, but hopefully it will shoot this year. And that's another good part about being a writer is if you're smart, you attach yourself as producer because the property is yours, and you want to have some say in how it's executed. And then there's a movie that I'm producing in Greece. That's a bigger budget film, and that I'm really looking forward to. That's getting close. Hopefully 2026 that happens. So yes, producing is the only way. That's if you're gonna be on the ride, be on it all the way. Be behind the steering wheel.
Well, if you need a lead Jewish sort of actor I can play Greek if I tie these behind my head.
Yes.
Like Zorba.
Yeah. Can you smoke?
I'm so hot, I'm smoking by myself. I don't even vape. I was once, the police mistook me for a vapist, and I've never gone back there again. Anywho, we're talking with Alex Lyras. Pardon me. I can cough up phlegm. Do you need a phlegm coughing? But it's on my resume, actually. Coughs up
It's
phlegm.
a skill that is underappreciated.
In chunks, I do it sometimes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, so it shows up on camera very brightly.
What do we have that back there behind you? What is that?
Oh, this is... Unfortunately, the light is shining very problematically on it. But we just got through Passover. Can you see?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
It's Manischewitz extra moist. Yeah, okay.
You go with the moist, huh?
They're not so moist yellow cake, which is used for uranium. But please remember
and you decided to tape it up on the wall there.
Yes, I did. And of course, can you see him? This is of course, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Nice. It was long dead at this point, but very much alive in our hearts.
Beautiful.
It is, isn't it? And you've got, of course, books. Of course, there are going to be books. Actually, I was going to ask you this. There's paintings all over your house. Who did those?
So my cousin Dean Lyras, who is a cinematographer, and he is a artist and an architect, and he wears many hats. He's a super interesting fellow. I will show you some of his work.
Sure.
His name is Dean Lyras. This is one of his amazing... so it's a little Basquiatish. Here's him doing kind of a little Byzantium item.
Oh, you're definitely Greek Orthodox. There's no question about that. All right, there we go.
Fun though, but he made it look dated and he made it look worn.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite Jews.
One of, yeah, okay. I'm not such a fan because he caused a shitload of trouble, but still.
Yeah. You guys
let's see some more paintings.
You guys blew it. Do you ever feel like someone just come up and be like, yeah, it turns out he was. Turns out we were wrong. Turns out he was. We got it wrong, but with his DNA, we got the DNA, and he's the son. And
yeah. Anywho, I want to remind people though that you can see Aristotle Alexander, the play, which is playing live at Company of Angels is the name of the theater, and it's on San Pablo Street. I have no idea where the hell that is, but it's somewhere in Los Angeles. You can find it. Put your GPS in there. Running through May 10th, and you can buy tickets at companyofangels.org. Companyofangels.org. Looks like you want to jump in and say something. Yeah?
No, I was just going to say it's a beautiful theater. It's a little off the beaten path, which is why we picked it. You're getting in your car. You're going to go either to Hollywood or Santa Monica, wherever you want, anywhere. But this area, Boyle Heights, is up and coming in a way that some people. Trying to think of the Highland Park is another area that it's a cool little pocket. So we're really close to Highland Park, and the theater is a jewel box. I love it. And Company of Angels has been around since 1974. It was started by Leonard Nimoy.
Jew. And you know who else trod the boards there? Vic Tayback.
Yeah, Vic Tayback. That's another. Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy, Vic Tayback, Alex Lyras. Come on, this is something.
I'll take it. Look, we're brethren. Like I said, I grew up in Scarsdale, so I'm an honorary tribesman, as I've been told by my buddies. But the show's running. We just extended. And it runs an hour and 40 minutes. You can also get tickets at aristotlealexander.com.
Oh, okay.
And if you search, you'll find some discount codes out there, but it's worth a night out, and I promise you will leave the theater debating and discussing the ideas in it, because a lot of contemporary overlay with these ideas.
Now, let me also remind people that if they want to read more about you, and you post your essays on your own website, alexlyras.com. You have these things called lyricisms, comedy. Alex, Lyras, alexlyras.com for all things Alex Lyras. But before I let you go, I got to ask a little bit of the personal question here. You know, you had a life. It's one thing to run out and be a single New York actor and stuff like that, and then run to LA. What is your social living person? You have another person there that you had to shove out of a room in order to do this interview. What is your cohabitational status?
Well, right now my sister is visiting from New York. She came out to see the play. It was her birthday. She's my older sister. and so we have some guests here, and it's
Well, who's we? Who's
my wife and I.
So how long have you been married?
Since 2015.
Oh, Risa, this is nice. This is your first wife? You never had a wife? Mazel. How did you meet her?
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
She's a Greek chef. Her name is Christina Zinos, and she recently won Chopped. She was on Chopped and won.
Wow!
Is a Greek episode. Yeah, so she's a cookbook author, and she's got one book out called Opa Healthy Greek Cooking.
Opa!
Yeah, Opa. And then she is working on a second book, which is I'm really excited about it. So we're going, after winning Chopped, she wants to open a school in Greece where it's kind of like you can go on vacation and you can take cooking classes. And
I'm there. I am so there. My God, that sounds. What's the best dish that she makes?
Oh well,
Tell me lasagna. No, what? No.
Well, I mean, there's the Greek lasagna, which is pastitsio. That's like without tomato sauce, but that's really great. Moussaka. She makes that moussakas with eggplant. She makes the chicken and red sauce, kapama it's called. It has a little cinnamon and sweetness in it. She makes a mean spanakopita.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the spinach pie. So sometimes when you go out, it's like all phyllo and no spinach. She's like thick spinach and phyllo and lemon. We use lemon on everything. Just simple baked lemon potatoes, patatas, is awesome. So yeah, we go to Greece. We do research. We go all over. Her family's from Crete, which is kind of amazing. It's a different part of Greece. My family's from Chios, Eastern Mediterranean, so that's closer to Turkey. But every time we go, we search out these remote spots that have unique recipes, and we'll find ourselves driving up into the mountains, and you lose cell service, and you have to pull out, and this is a very new, exciting thing, a map.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you have to use the map and find your way to this guy whose oven is outside, and he cooks, and there's no reservations, but people like gather on Sunday, and then we speak to him in broken Greek and try and figure out what he did and what he's using. And so I thanks to the failed TV deals, I have a beautiful spot in LA in an area called the Hollywood Dell, which is a 1920s neighborhood where they built these craftsman houses. They still exist. Some are getting knocked down, but right up the street from me is Frank Capra's old house. So that's still there. And then Mary Pickford has a house around the corner. We can walk to the Hollywood Bowl. That's the other secret for anyone looking to move to Los Angeles is you got to be able to walk to a few places.
Just a couple, and not just a bodega. Yeah, if you can be near Frank Capra's house, and use his tap for water if you need it, and use his bathroom if it's necessary. And if Mary Pickford is, I assume she's still not in the house. Maybe she's buried under it. But to be...
She is impressive, yeah. Her house is impressive.
I would gather it is. And so is your house, and so are you, Alex Lyras. It remains for me to just wish you such incredible success for Aristotle Alexander, as well as the 10 projects in the fire, the 2 movies are hoping to get going in a year or two. All of it, as well as good health. And I cannot believe I made it through this entire interview without making a Greek joke. This is. I guess I must be falling behind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, I had to do it. Alex Lyras, mazel tov to you. And
thank you, Rabbi.
Please come
back. It's a pleasure to talk to you. When the show comes to New York, and it will be there, we will we'll meet in person. We'll meet in person. And it'll be a mitzvah.
Yes. Yeah, and my joy to see your work again. Absolutely. Shalom to you.
Shalom. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was, of course, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches. If you want to know more about Rabbi Sol, please visit his website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T. Shalomdammit.com. That is a place to read all his mini sermons, his rabbinical reflections. It's also got the 10 episodes that he did of his very funny TV program that he did on Long Island Cable many years ago. Plus, we even videotaped the off-Broadway show he did at the Richmond Shepherd Theater called Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sol Solomon. It's all there. Plus, there's links to all the interviews he's done on this show, shalomdammit.com, and his Twitter feed is
It was
at.
such a lovely interview.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh my God! And his wife won the top.
I know. I want to watch that episode of Chopped. Because we
Also,
could
I like
cook
the
with
idea of, like,
lemon, yeah.
Remember when we took the girls to Italy and we went in L'Aquila,
Yeah.
and we talked to all the people and they gave us cappuccino and they took us in that restaurant and he was in a bomb shelter. That's why he survived. I mean, the restaurant didn't collapse, and he was shown making all the food, and all the girls went by the counter and took pictures with him.
Well, yeah.
There was like 13 girls and the owner. He was so lovely. And he's like, "This is how I make this," and
Yes.
it was just. And I know that they didn't care for the gnocchi making, but
Really?
I
thought
think they wanted to be out and about, buying stuff, seeing the sights, you know, because it was a little bit long and it was.
Well, gnocchi's a pain in the nuts.
No, but it could have been done quicker. I mean, like, you don't have to tell people how to roll dough and cut it.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
do.
but
You do. Yes.
But I thought that interview was great.
Yeah, Alex Lyras, man. If you're on the West Coast over the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure it'll come to New York, but until then, it's at Company of Angels Theater on San Pablo Street in Los Angeles. Get your tickets, companyofangels.org, or go to Alex Lyras' site.
Yeah, you just Google his stuff.
And check out Aristotle Alexander. For all theater people. And if you're not a theater person and you were just listening to that interview, become one.
While you're here,
Well,
with you.
What?
I need to do my hip and spine mobility exercise.
Let's do it. Well, you can't get on camera. You won't.
Oh, this is good.
If I tilt the camera below,
I don't have a yoga mat. Rotate my phone. Look at that. It's telling me how to.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So my wife has this thing through her health plan where you get like free.
They gave me Noom for food. I'm a hot mess. I have so much health stuff, but I love these people.
So this is a thing where.
It says I'm ready. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I don't need a yoga mat. Oh wait.
Oh, what?
I gotta pause it because it's got sound.
Well, do they have subtitles? Can you?
I don't know.
I don't know if that'll be copyrighted, where it'll be a problem with
No, I
they'll.
don't think you. I could do it. I could do it with no music. I mean, I could mute it. Let me see.
Oh, if there's
Yeah,
music,
just
that's
mute
going to be a
it.
problem.
Mute it.
Yeah.
I can follow what they're doing.
Okay, what are they doing? So
They're doing it first.
it's like an exercise plan where she's on the floor, which is how I like her, and
because of my vertigo, I can't be flat.
she's lifting her legs, one and then the other.
Chest. This is good.
Knee to
Feels
titties.
good.
She's doing that.
No, that feels good.
Good.
I just wish I could lay flat. I have vertigo.
Oh well. Oh, you want a pillow? Why
I'm
don't you
holding myself up. I know how to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
We're gonna hold that leg. Hold that leg. There you go. Knee up. I'm describing this. Unfortunately, you can't. You don't have the visual.
When there's a new exercise, you can call it.
Well, anyway, it is.
The knee to chest while you're doing it.
Here, they can't even see me doing it because I'm like,
Oh, I love this one.
oh, cross those legs. Do that like the
Figure
Indian.
four.
Lift your butt. Do the Indian
It's
pose.
figure four.
Yeah, that's so good for the what do they call it? Not the quad. What's under the
I
quad?
don't know. It feels good.
Yeah, that muscle behind it. Yeah, breathe. Lift that leg. There you go.
I just don't want to trigger vertigo.
No, do not do that.
Destroy my life.
Yeah, but
You do your stuff when you talk.
all right.
It's your show. I don't want to waste your time.
Well, it is 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching the 983rd episode of The Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of The Stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my pretzelized, wonderful wife there.
I'm on a rest break, 15 seconds.
Okay. All right. So she got a little rest from doing those little...
Spinal twist, which I love. I'm going to try to see if I can...
Oh, I used to hate Russian twists, but what is that?
Spinal twist.
Oh, those are so good for the legs. I love that.
Oh, my back, it feels good.
You're crossing one leg over the
I
other.
can't see
Oh.
what she's... Oh, you're holding it. That's what she's doing now.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it is just holding for stretch. This isn't aerobic, this is stretching. Get those muscles going. There you go. Just torque the other way. You got it. Feel the stretch in the hip. Oh, yeah.
her back.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Then she's just doing this.
Well, yeah, you repeat the move, same thing. And then back over you go. Get those twists.
Okay.
Oh, what's she doing now?
Child's pose. Thank God it's forward, because I can go forward. Okay, so she's showing me, and then you do it. Okay.
Oh, you look like a froggy.
Well, I like child's pose a lot. Oh, she's moving with it. Okay.
Oh, she's moving.
I
Uh-oh.
can do that, but I'm gonna just do this.
Now she's doing the Islamic
really
saluting the
get it.
carpet. Well, yeah.
Child's pose. I can't. Oh God, I can't.
Yeah, but this is fun to watch because her boobies are hanging down under her shirt. I like seeing that.
Please do that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hold the pose. Strike a pose. Hold the pose. Reach those arms out. You got it. You got it. You got this. And then a little more, little more, little more. Up slowly. Everything slowly we go.
David, you're a horrible announcer. It sounds like you're doing a sports event. Activity completed.
There you go.
Yay!
Mazel McGlick. Well done.
Okay, how would you rate the experience? I liked it.
Yeah.
I would say it was probably easy, but the problem was,
Yeah.
I liked the clear instructions. That was good.
Good, good.
Okay, congratulations.
I mean, I would have liked it better if you were naked, but I liked watching
You
it.
know what I like about it? Like, I have to find. I'm going to tell her that I get vertigo, and
Well, yeah.
she can adjust the stuff. But you learn.
Yeah. You live, you learn. You learn and you live.
It's to reduce pain and exercise, and I have so much stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
They say that she's making the plan, and they're going to mail me the kit.
Oh, right,
I'm
yeah.
excited, yeah.
A special exercisey kind of health kit. That's coming from, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield or who is it?
It's Anthem Blue Cross.
Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. So yay. Anyway, I'm Dave, and you're watching Dave's Gone By. And my wife's thing is exercise. My thing is theater and music and other stuff like that. But I did go to the theater last weekend when I was back in New York for a bit and saw a revival of an off-Broadway musical that has now been brought to Broadway many years later. It's called Floyd Collins, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Funky. Inside Broadway, a look at theater on and off Broadway and beyond. Brought to you by Total Theater and Performing Arts Insider. Curtain going up. Inside Broadway we go. And yeah, so last week I got to see one of my favorite places in the universe again, Lincoln Center. I think it's just one of the most beautiful man-made places ever. I mean, everything from the sprinkling fountain to the reflecting pool to just these magnificent structures.
Starbucks has a cherry chai.
I'm sorry, what?
Cherry chai.
Ugh. Well, here I go from talking about Lincoln Center, and I'm all bright and bubbly, and then it's like cherry chai, and my whole face just goes like, ah. What? What do I have?
Oh, here, nice.
What do I got? What do I got here?
Hairs are sticking up.
There you go. Oh.
And then they're kind of. There you go.
You should think about what else was sticking up while you're doing those exercises. But ladies and gentlemen, so I get to go back to Lincoln Center. I haven't been there in months.
Here.
Oh, okay.
For the kids. Is it kid friendly?
The musical tech you would not want to bring because it's so depressing. It's.
What is it about?
Well, all right. Well, first of all,
it's about 2 hours.
It's about 2 and a half hours. My God. So anyway, we got this week. It was clearance for like less than $2. We got potato dressed as a bunny rabbit and holding a chicken. Come on, this is good for both chicken.
Oh, he's gorgeous. Look at that chicken's adorable too.
Yeah.
But that bunny looks very cute. Even the checkout girl said he was cute.
He is
and
cute.
The lady behind us said it was $1 something. She couldn't believe it.
Well, I couldn't believe it either because when we bought these bigger ones, they're like $20.
I know.
But Floyd Collins. So what about? Oh, it's at Lincoln Center's Broadway Theater, the Vivian Beaumont. They of course have two theaters in one edifice, and sometimes they do edifice Rex. But they have the Mitzi Newhouse Theater, which is
I like
off.
the little one more than the big theater.
Yeah, but
I
they're
like
both
the
comfortable.
theater that's not by the theater by the fountain is the smaller one, right? By the waiting pool, the reflecting pool.
Well, no, they're both in this.
Both
Don't
in
forget,
the
you're also thinking about the opera. City Opera is in a different building,
Take me
and
there.
yeah, and then
I was like,
Alice Tully
"Oh."
Hall.
I
Yeah,
said, I'm afraid of heights. Let's go see the opera. She won tickets. We literally went up to the nosebleed where you're literally, I could touch the ceiling. The chandeliers are coming up. I was like, Michal, I can't do it.
yeah. The Met is there. City Opera used to be
Yeah,
there.
that
I don't know where
was-
City
that's
Opera
a
is,
whole
but
other- you can't.
yeah.
That's a whole other like.
but in the same building, they've got one theater, which is the Vivian Beaumont, the big one, big-ish, and then the smaller one is the Mitzi Newhouse, which is off Broadway and has about 400 to 500 seats, as opposed to, I guess, close to 1,000. So, but Floyd Collins is being done in the big theater, which is one of the issues with it, because it was essentially a chamber-ish musical, small cast, and kind of a small-ish story, even though it covers a whole town. The point of it is, and this was done, I keep forgetting to tell you or look up the year that it was originally
What am I
performed.
looking up? Tell me.
What year was Floyd Collins originally
What
done?
year was Floyd Collins originally performed on Broadway?
Off Broadway.
Oh no. Okay. 1996.
So it wasn't that long ago. So
1996.
about a 2006-16,
Open off Broadway.
30-year gap. Yeah, at Playwrights Horizons, I think it was. Yeah. So
Musical off Broadway where it ran for 25 performances. The show will make its debut at the Beaumont.
yeah, it opened like a week or two ago.
I don't know when did it open?
Yeah, just a few days ago. I think I caught it in late
they're talking about
previews.
the new one, you know.
Yeah. So Floyd Collins, which has a score by Adam Gettle, who is Richard Rodgers' either son or grandson or something like that, and then Tina
They say
Landau.
it had the world premiere in the Philadelphia Theater Festival, 1994.
Wow. Okay, I buy that.
So maybe then they went to Broadway.
So it is 30 years old. It went to off Broadway initially,
Yeah.
and it was a flop. Actually, it was a commercial flop, but critically acclaimed in most circles because it is an intelligent work by some very, very talented, maybe even brilliant people. Okay, and here's the plot. I mentioned it before. Here's the dude. He's this guy
What's his name?
with Floyd. His name is actually Floyd Collins. And it is based on a true story, but there wasn't an actual Floyd Collins. It was based on
Oh, it's like the rest stop, the Molly Pitcher rest stop, a
yeah,
composite
of other stories of miners. And you should love this because you come from Pennsylvania, mine people,
Born to go,
as opposed to Pennsylvania, your people. And he figures, he likes the town that he lives. He's with his family. He doesn't really get along with his dad. Blah blah blah. But he has this idea that instead of just digging and having no real life, he's going to find a great mine, dig it out, trick it all up, and make it a tourist attraction. Make people come down, see the mine. Remember, we went to a town, maybe it was Kentucky,
Yeah, where there was mines, yeah.
and people could go in, and they were shuttled in and shown around, and you could go down the coal. We went. We did it.
We were in a coal car, I remember.
Yes.
That was somewhere with Atka. We went in the south.
It was probably Louisville.
I think it was Louisville because we went in the car, yeah.
Yeah.
In the mine car, like they have the little coal cars and they take you around.
So this guy Floyd Collins has this idea to do this, and he's got to get in there and then see how big it is and see if it's worth seeing and worth digging out and doing all this stuff. So it is still a mine. It's still a dangerous, real place, and it's taken place in 1925. I should also mention that.
That was a rough time.
So he's working his way down. He knows the turf. He knows how to climb, but he's a risk taker. So he starts pushing himself between some very tight spaces. And I'm not going to, spoiler alert, he gets caught. Really caught. And something falls on his foot like a giant stone, and he is stuck. So for the first part of the musical, though, he's still close enough that people can come down and see him, but they can't help him. They can dig around him, they can try and get some movement going, but whatever they do, he's still there more and more and more, and sometimes desperate and sometimes kind of trying to have some sort of epiphany about life while he's stuck there, dying in this mine. I mean, they can get him food and they can get him water and things for a while. And then...
He knows he's not going to live.
Well, we don't know for the first half because...
Miners know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, once you're hurt and you're trapped and no one can get you and they're, yeah.
But that was the thing, they could get to him but they couldn't get him out. They couldn't get past him to get him out. They could talk to him. They could get him, bring him things, but he couldn't move.
Because if you know the thing, I'm sure if you remove something, you get a mind collapse.
And even they bring a doctor in. I know I'm giving away a lot of plot, but they bring a doctor in and says, we can't amputate. We can't.
Yeah, but they even saved, remember those Chilean miners, they saved them, which was a miracle.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, I mean, I guess it's like...
But that's 100 years later.
You don't give up hope,
Yeah. So that's the story. The story is
Did you like it?
I do want to mention that the overall thing, it isn't a one-man show. This guy is there, and we're watching him slowly both have hope, lose hope, and then kind of leave the world. But it's also about what happens above ground. It's about the people who take advantage of the situation. The newspaper man who sees a big story. No, he's got a sister, and there's a kind of a weird relationship there that don't really develop enough. And he's got a brother. And he's got a dad he doesn't get along with, and kind of a mom who tolerates this somewhat abusive dad, blah, blah, blah. But it's also about how, one journalist really wants to help and writes a story about it, but then it gets picked up and syndicated. And now you've got journalists from everywhere who just want some kind of scoop. You've got a town big shot who volunteers to pay for all the help, but he wants to run things. And he does his best, but his best turns out not to be good enough. And you've got everybody who has some stake in this, even though they're not trapped down there with Floyd. So it has things to say about how society reacts to tragedy, to a big crisis. There was a movie in the 1950s called Ace in the Hole, I think it was called, that did this story. And it does not have a happy ending, I'll tell you right there. But it's about people looking after themselves, even when they're trying to, quote unquote, help or having their own interests at heart first, and all of that.
It's like, people who profit. So what C. Wright Mills said, that people profit off of war. Yeah. That war profits. War's like, it's an industry. So like having a tragedy of people in the mine, right? The local town gets an influx of people buying,
Yeah, they need vendors to have food.
It's like, remember when that plane went down in that small remote, Iceland or somewhere, or some Greenland, and all the people, there was like no hotel, so all the people took in somebody from the plane.
But that's actually kind of different. That was really humanitarian.
But it's like the same thing where, it's like, how are we going to feed people? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to get food? Where are they going to, we're going to have news crews. There's going to be, they're going to need supplies. And it becomes like a gulag.
And even the family, like the kid's brother, who really loves Floyd, and the brothers get along well, and the brother wants him out and is trying to do anything. But at the same time, a movie director comes to town and says to the brother, you can play Floyd in a movie. You've got the look. We can put you on vaudeville. We can put you in the movies. And he's tempted, And so that all that storytelling, there's a lot of good storytelling in the show. My issue with it is, and it's also the reason I've never really been able to get into the cast album, I know theater cognoscenti love this show. I know they think the score is the most brilliant thing since Rodgers and Hammerstein and Sondheim at their very, very best. It's if Adam Geggel could write...
It doesn't feel that way to you, right?
Yeah, Adam Geggel, I know he can write musical theater catchy songs, and then he deliberately tries not to. It's like he takes something that could be a very catchy song, and he just makes it more modernish, more like this chord goes this way, that chord goes that way. It's beautifully orchestrated and arranged.
Maybe it's challenging the norm,
yeah,
more progressive.
It is, but to me, I think by pulling it, I was like, oh, I'm liking the song. No, I'm not liking the song. It's like, oh, it's just a song. It's more recitative or...
the stuff ready for later. I'll get the water.
Yeah, great.
Talk about, I know you want to talk theater and I'm bothering you.
No.
You want the fan?
No, I don't. I'm great.
You want a tea or anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I got water.
Okay.
I'm good. And I got Bunny. Oh, hon, can you take poo?
I'm not touching that.
I don't know if you heard her. She says, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. Anyway, so I'm not on the Ghetto bandwagon. I wasn't when I missed the original off-Broadway production back in '96 and tried listening to the cast album a couple of times. I like the opening number, and they do it really nicely in this revival too, where the echo of his, like Yodel-Leahy, who kind of yodeling, echoes back at him and it kind of plays back on. And it's good stuff. It's brilliant stuff. I just, can't really get into it musically. And I'm sure that's a fault of mine. I'm not smart enough. I don't like modern classical composing for the most part. And I don't even like Sondheim post Into the Woods music. There's a falling off for me after Sunday in the Park with George of even Sondheim himself and things like Passion and some of his later stuff. So that's this to me. It's also too long. It's also 2.5 hours of this story, which has a lot going on and has a lot to say, but I still kind of wish and hope, I think that it would be better. Not an intermissionless 90. Maybe. But they could trim a bit of it, especially since Tina Landau, who is the book writer on this and the director, and she was the director of the original, she's got a big place to work with. And there's something that kind of saps the air and the energy out of the thing by it being such a large theater. The Beaumont is not, a little crawl space. And back when it was at Playwrights Horizons, that's maybe a 250-seat theater. It's an off-Broadway house. So everything's smaller, everything's more intimate. It was called a chamber musical. And now you're putting this chamber musical, and basically you're just putting this character here and that character, and these folks are over there with very little, the scenery is not much. They do wonderful, beautiful lighting, but it's kind of making up for the fact that they don't, I don't want to say they haven't bothered, but they haven't designed an impressive cave or an impressive town. Everything is kind of as it would have been done, easily done in an off-Broadway house again. And I've got to say, if you're on a big Broadway stage and you're doing something about this extraordinary cave, they get away with it more in Redwood, of all things. The show I saw a couple of weeks ago, the one with Idina Menzel, and she's going up this Redwood bar, because the projections are so extraordinary. Because you just see these magnificent trees, and then all you have to do is put ropes and pulleys and hanging things against them, and we're kind of with it. I have other issues with the musical, but in terms of visuals, it's enough, right? In Floyd Collins, it's just not enough for my taste, for a 2.5 hour piece. So this is absolutely musical. I admire. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not running it down. And yet, certainly at the 2 hour point, my admiration started jockeying with my test of patience. It just feels a little sparse. It is, of course, worth seeing. It is very, very well done. Jeremy Jordan is the lead actor playing Floyd Collins, and he basically has to play most of the whole show kind of like this. And maybe there were more opportunities to get him up and around, even though mentally we know that he can't be doing that for real. He's really good. Some of the performances are excellent. Mark Kugish is always commanding, but he's sort of a one-note-ish dad. The dad wants to help the best for his son, but he's poor. And he's so conscious about money that he's worried how he's going to pay for everything. And then, of course, there's the invariable slap of the child. Yeah, we know that's coming. I gotta give it a mild thumbs up. 3, maybe 3.25 stars for the experience of watching it is good, but it's not something I would necessarily want to see again, or as I said, listen to. It's Floyd Collins at the Lincoln Center's Vivian Beaumont Theater, and it's running, I think, probably till June or longer than that, because a lot of the reviews have been very good, and there are people who really, really, I read even, what was it, John Simon, who is known for supposedly, not true, hating everything, had only great things to say about the original Floyd Collins, and just what a great piece of work and a major musical it is. To each his own. Anywho, it is 11:20 in the morning Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and if you want to read theater reviews, not only by me, but by a bunch of other people, you might want to check out TotalTheater.com. This is reviews from all over the country, from wonderful people like Mary Sheng Barnage and Ann Siegel out in Milwaukee, and then Aaron Krause, who is over in Florida, and Marie J. Kilker, who's in Florida too. We had an older version of the website for many, many years with thousands of reviews on it. It got hacked, it got trashed, and I still don't even have the content there, but we're rebuilding it bit by bit, and we do have a couple of hundred reviews on there already, including reviews of tons of the shows currently on Broadway, plus off and around the country. TotalTheater.com, and spell it E-R-R-E, doesn't matter, TotalTheater.com for all your Broadway needs. Okay, it is still about 20 after 11 in the morning Eastern Time. You've been watching the 983rd episode of the Dave's Gone By show. We do have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned coming for you, but not before we get to the Friends of the Daverhood. These are the people who have been on this program over the months and years we have been on the air. We'd like to think of them as friends and family and let you know how they're doing and what they're busy doing. So, here's the Friends of the Daverhood. Now, of course, for example, we have a brand new friend. Now, stop the music. A brand new friend of the Daverhood, and that's Alex Lyras. Reminder, his play, Aristotle Alexander, is playing at the Company of Angels Theater in Los Angeles. It's over on San Pablo Street. Let me just tell you until when. Until May 10th. So you have about 2 more weeks to see it. Get your tickets, companyofangels.org, and also check out Alex's own website, alexlyras.com, Lyras, our brand new friend of the Daverhood. Now, in terms of our Hey Old Friends, these are our Dave Old Friends, and those include, always on the last page that I actually look for here, congratulations to writer Mark Stephen Porro. He wrote a book called A Cup of Tea on the Commode, My Multitasking Adventures of Caring for Mom and How I Survived to Tell the Tale. Well, we had him on a few months ago talking about this book, about caring for his his aging mom with some health concerns, but they're also bonded in a way. Well, the book has won the 2025 Pencraft Seasonal Book Award Spring Competition. So congratulations, Mark Stephen Porro. And yes, go on Amazon, go on any book place and get A Cup of Tea on the Commode. And then buy the book, A Cup of Tea on the Commode. Let's see. Congratulations also to MAC Award winners Tova Feldshuh and Charles Bush. Both of them won Lifetime Achievement Awards at the MAC, Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs Award just a week or so ago. Also winners were Carolyn Montgomery, our other friend of the Daverhood, for Tribute Show, and Natalie Douglas for Major Recording for her CD. And we've been wishing Natalie what we call a refuah shlema. She's had some health issues and she is recuperating. I did find out this week from an acquaintance friend of mine, and I want to thank him for this, who let us know that costume designer Jewel Hallmeyer passed away at the end of February. Now, Jewel was on our show a few years ago. We had him on because he's not a costume designer so much for theater, but for TV. And he was the guy who made all those funny costumes on a $1.98 budget, Canadian, for Second City Television for many, many years. And if you remember, even there was one of the running jokes of the show were the Jewel Hallmeyer dancers, who were deliberately terrible dancers that came out and just they couldn't dance at all, but that was the thing. That's all they could afford was lousy, quote-unquote, Jewel Hallmeyer dancers. Anyway, we want to wish a big farewell to him, and we're sorry we just didn't know it earlier. He passed on February 28th of cancer, so a farewell belatedly to Jewel Hallmeyer. And thank you to Wayne for letting us know. Robert W. Schneider is directing Zorba, the musical, at the AMT Theater in Midtown, now through early May. Brooke Moriber is doing her kind of variety concert show, Nashville in New York. I think she does it once a month at the Bitter End over on 147 Bleecker Street, this legendary place where all the folk singers, including Dylan, played. So she's doing Nashville in New York, and it's on April 26th. So that is tonight. And among the people joining her in this kind of hootenanny thing will be Terry Roach, of course, of the Roaches. Jeffrey Sweet, he's getting a reading of a new play of his called Change of Position. And they're doing it at Harvey's Restaurant in Saratoga Springs, New York. That is this weekend, today and tomorrow. So, of course, we wish him tremendous luck on that. Robert Cuccioli is playing Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof at the Cleveland Playhouse. So you're going to want to see him. That starts today and runs through the middle of May. And Hampton Calloway is doing a Zoom masterclass, presumably in singing rather than songwriting, but I'm not sure. Go to jazzvoice.com, jazzvoice.com for details how you can take an online class with Ann Hampton Calloway. If you don't know who that is, go watch episodes of The Nanny and the woman who wrote and sings that opening number. That's her. Okay, let's see. Jason Gra, our beloved Jason Gra, is hosting in Los Angeles tomorrow a benefit for the Billy Barnes Foundation. This is at the Catalina Jazz Club. Jason Gra, thank you for this. Oh, Nog, hon, take your phone. What? Somebody's phone went gazoop, gazoop. Okay, it wasn't ringing, it was a gazoop, gazoop message. So, at the Catalina Jazz Club, and among the guests, Maud Maggart, our beloved singer.
I'm going to go put the ring in.
Oh, yeah, great. Let's see, who else? We've got Alan Menken is going to be at a tribute to himself being done by NYU. I think he was an NYU guy. That's being done at the Skirball Center on LaGuardia Place. This is happening on Monday, the 28th. Alan Menken. We'll mention him, since we're mentioning Alan Menken, remember, he's on Broadway. His music is in Aladdin, the Broadway musical, and his music is in the off-Broadway musical, Little Shop of Horrors. So Menken all over the place this week, and that's great. Who else? Let's see. Congratulations to Janice Ian, the singer-songwriter, because on Wednesday, the Philadelphia Music Alliance is adding her to their Walk of Fame. So, I'll bet she didn't dream of this when she was 17. Congratulations to Janice Ian. I want to let you know that Jessica Molaski is in Floyd Collins. I'm sorry, I didn't even mention her, but she plays a major character in there. Where is she? Yes, she does. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Jessica Molaski, she was on the show a few years ago. She's in Floyd Collins at the Vivian Beaumont Theater in Lincoln Center. David Yazbek, he is the co-author, of course, of Dead Outlaw, a big hit off-Broadway show that is now moving to Broadway's Longacre Theater. It is playing, if it hasn't opened yet, it's opening like this week. And also Danny Burston is in Gypsy at the Majestic Theater. Let's see, Michael Garin, he plays piano at the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca Tuesdays through Saturday evenings. Plus, if you go to Michael Garin's Facebook page, you can actually watch the live stream of it, and I guess even make and take requests. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, they play Monday and Tuesday evenings, 2 shows a night at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Jim Caruso's Cast Party oh man, this is what happens when I talk nonstop almost, except I didn't. I had almost an hour break here, and here we are. But Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Seth's Talent Show with Seth Bisson-Hirsch is at Don't Tell Mama on Tuesday evenings. And big shout out to Evan Seplow, my friend. He's the founder of StageBuddy.com, a website of New York nightlife. Shout outs to David Sheward, who writes for TotalTheater.com. He reviews shows, as well as for CulturalDaily.com and TheaterLife.com. Vicky Quaddy out there in Chicago doing Late Night Catechism and her other shows, as well as who else? Oh, and Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake doing Two on the Aisle. You can watch episodes on YouTube and also excerpts on YouTube. It's kind of like Siskel and Eberting Broadway and off-Broadway shows. It's called Two on the Aisle. And don't forget that David Kenny's radio show, Everything Old is New Again, airs Sunday evenings on WBAI Radio. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the friends of the Daverhood, we're very, very grateful for everybody who has made it, has carved out the time, has carved out the, the wherewithal, and knowing the kind of show that this is, to be with us, whether it's a week ago, or 50 weeks ago, or 500 weeks ago. We've been on the air that long, folks. Has it been 1,000 weeks? If you think of 52 weeks a year, more than 20 years, holy cow. Wow. Yeah, thank you to our friends of the Daverhood, and thank you to all of you for watching and listening and sharing this program with everyone you know. Remember, davesgoneby.com is our website. Ooh, what?
The ring is installed.
Oh, you got the ring downstairs. Yay.
I thought you might have wanted your...
Well, my thing is full of water here, but I want to show it.
The other baby bunny, his thread is only holding on the thing by one side. He's not holding it like this. He's holding it like that.
Oh, is it going to break or is it?
No,
Okay.
she's just holding one-sided.
I found nog, ladies and gentlemen, all through the holidays. I was looking for reasonably priced eggnog, and I don't even like eggnog, but I like it enough to drink it as a treat. Go figure, we're in Target yesterday, and we find eggnog.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try it. I'm going to maybe even add a little milk to it, and it's going to make me phlegmy all day, but I don't care. I'm going to have me some nog. I don't care. Now, hon, I don't know why you chose this moment to come back, because this is the moment when we do the Colorado Limerick of the
Well,
Damned.
it's called Bruce, right? I like Bruce.
Bruce.
Nice.
Bruce, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. So you can get the drumsticks ready, because my wife and I were living in northern Colorado for many years, for like 13 years. I just took it in my head one day that, some of these names of towns and cities and little villages in Colorado can be rhymed with other things in a funny way. Let me try that. And so I did a couple, and then I did a couple more. And hoarder type that I am, I ended up just doing them. I have been now for like a decade. And I've got more than 300 of these horrible limerick poems. And I keep writing them as long as I can. So,
Oh, look.
what happened?
There's the New York Post did a thing about Brenda Peters, so you're right, Demoda.
Old friends, what is it?
I can't see it.
I can't see it.
Somebody else posted it, but it's the Post, so you tell Harry you're very timely.
Oh, yeah, well, this was posted. Manhattan Theater Club is sharing, it must have raved about it in the Post. They're sharing the review from like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I mentioned that I interviewed Bernadette Peters. Speaking of someone who was kind enough to carve out a half hour in her busy schedule to talk to me for this is a hard copy interview that I'm writing for Long Island Woman magazine. So, she's doing 8 shows a week, and she was doing a cameo in a movie, and she's still, and thank you to the PR people for carving out a half hour where she got and talked to me, and I appreciate it. And she was really lovely too. So, Bruce, Colorado. This is a little neighborhood. It's not like a town. It's not like a city. It's a neighborhood in Colorado. In the neighborhood. And I'm going to ruin it with my Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our Colorado limerick of the dam. 5 lines long, each of them more disgusting than the last. But Bruce, there's not much to say about it. It's a neighborhood in Windsor, or really I think it's in Severance in Weld County. I'm guessing that it's likely named for Bruce's Bar. Oh, this one is... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This one is straight up. Straight up filthy. Now, Bruce's Bar, what is the most... They have line dancing there, live music. They got kind of, not bistro food. There's more down-homey food. But, of course, what are they most famous for, dear?
Oh, I'll show you a picture of it.
Rocky Mountain Low.
Rocky Mountain Oysters. Bruce's Bar. You'll see it.
Yeah. Their motto is, we had a ball at Bruce's Bar. That is their specialty. And the bikers come there. Then sometimes they pass through town.
Oh, there's an early bird menu.
Oh, well. But they're best known for what is called Rocky Mountain Oysters, where they fry up some bull testicles. And let's say anything fried is actually very tasty. They're chewy and they're good. Here we go. Thank you. Long after most restaurants have come and gone,
Yes.
Bruce's Bar continues to be a popular hangout for locals, celebrities, and tourists.
We had our driving instructor's birthday there.
Right.
And her name was Gwen, and they called her Glenn. They said, "Happy birthday, Glenn!"
Oh, well.
And I'm like, wah.
It's been around since 1957
Wow.
when Bruce Ruth,
Oh, a real person. Okay.
yeah, bought Severance Recreation Hall and named it Bruce's Bar.
Yeah.
World's Strongest Men competition and Rocky Mountain Oyster Contest.
Yeah,
They've had things there. But, so this is chicken. I'm pretty sure that's chicken.
Okay, I'll find a picture.
And I did, yes, twice we went to Bruce's Bar, and each time I did try their yummy, yummy nuts.
Menu specials. Let's see. Specials.
Oh, let's hear the specials at Bruce's Bar.
Rib,
Oh.
Rocky Mountain. Oh, tomorrow if we go there, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
All you can eat Rocky Mountain oysters for $18.99.
That's good.
Yeah. They have a prime rib on Saturday today.
How much is that?
It's after 5:30. It's $25.99. It's 8 ounces with potato, Texas toast, veggie, and salad. Wings all day on Monday. Oh, they have a lot of.
Yeah, the place was fun. The place was good, and I like the food, and I like the balls. You didn't try the balls. You're a vegetarian. Let me ask you something.
That's what might have made me.
When we first met, and we were first dating and married for a while, you were still eating meat. You like sausage. You ate chicken.
No, I even ate one time, like in a Turkish restaurant, brain. Ugh.
So would you have eaten?
No, I wouldn't have tried.
You would not have tried a nut. No.
At this point, I don't think it would have been wise.
Well.
Oh, look what their logo is.
Oh, the bull. Yes, this is adorable.
It says very unfair, very unfair.
They're all crossing their legs.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I understand.
But it doesn't kill the animal, isn't it just castration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it changes their mood. It makes them testy. Get it? Testy? Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, Bruce's Bar, I enjoy the place. It's not a place I would frequent regularly, not my type of dive, but once a season, absolutely. If we were still in Colorado, I would totally be there and get myself some. Yeah. We got balls one or two other places too. One other place did carry it.
There was one place in Denver that we went with the theater critics.
Yeah.
And they were known to have like bison, like very exotic meat, like elk. And they probably had it there.
Yeah.
Like it had all kind of like...
or even, was it Fat Albert's had it one time? I feel like they did.
No, they had like, you like their shrimp. It was like a popcorn shrimp that they used to make for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you made
What a good Jew I am. I'm eating bull testicles and shrimp.
Maybe you used to call it,
Oh, nut things? Yeah.
maybe.
Anywho, not really much else to tell you about Bruce, Colorado, except that it's close to Bruce's Bar. Maybe it's the area, the neighborhood that Bruce's Bar is in. whatever. And then I have a poem about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, and with fair warning, this is a Colorado limerick of the damned about Bruce, Colorado. Ahem. I once knew a woman from Bruce whose morals were shockingly loose. So great was her nerve, at a wildlife preserve, she jacked off 3 sloths and a moose. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure. Sloth, how do you feel about that? Well, I think this is the one that she did, because look, his pants are basically all the way down there, and yet he doesn't have any. Did Bruce's bar take yours also? Yes. Yes.
Review.
Wait. Got to try the nuts the best. Got to try the nuts the best. Anyway, if you were offended by that poem, good. If you weren't and you enjoyed it, also good. Either way, you can contact me, davesgoneby at AOL.com. Dave's Gone By, just like the show, at AOL.com. I try and read every email that comes to me. You can also post on my Facebook page or message me directly there. And that's just Dave's Gone By is the Facebook page. I have a Twitter feed. It's Radio Dave 2. I also have an Instagram page, which is, what the hell is it? David.Lefkowitz, right? David.Lefkowitz. And we even, yes, just not to lose all my liberal viewers, we're on Blue Sky, and Dave's Gone By is the page there. But it's really the same stuff, right? It's still me telling you, hey, our next show is going to be, and this is what it's going to be, right? And you can get that right here on this Facebook page, as well as on davesgoneby.com. So, that about wraps it up for this episode of the show. I do want to say a farewell to someone that I tried to get on the program a couple of years ago or a few months ago, because I knew when we had, speaking of California writers and playwrights, Lee Wachner was on a year or two ago, and he was a huge Per Ubu fan and knew David Thomas personally. They're friendly acquaintances. They've had meals together. It's kind of like, I get to sit at the foot of the masters. Like almost like Gary Lucas with Captain
Jedi,
Beefheart.
You're like the Jedi.
Yeah. Except Lucas actually played in Beefheart's band and managed him. Wachner was more of a fanboy situation. But anyway, news came this week that Per Ubu frontman Dave Thomas passed away at the age of 71 after, quote, a long illness. So I did try. I wanted to get him on when they were passing through, I think it was New York, and I tried, and they said maybe, but then they couldn't do it. So, alas, alack, Dave Thomas, the renownedly kind of grumpy interview frontman, although he was out there, certainly in later years. He was giving interviews. He was doing a podcast. I think probably COVID era changed him and made him more like, I've got to get to the fans somehow. It's not like a major label.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people went virtual, correct, yeah.
So, I can't say that I love most of Per Ubu's stuff. It's a little too out there for me, but, and that's their best album. No, this is not Per Ubu at all. But any band that names itself after Alfred Jarry's obscene not saying a masterpiece, it's just a juvenile piece of nonsense that's political, satirical, and dirty, and beautiful for being that. So, and Thomas, the first couple of albums are pretty cool. It's got some great stuff on the modern dance and dub housing. So give those a shot. Skip over the tracks you can't deal with, but give those a shot. There's music on there that if you have any kind of width in your latitude of listening to pop and rock music, you might enjoy. And also there's a great song that they did that actually made the Billboard charts in the late 80s called Waiting for Mary. And one of the weirdest and greatest things you're ever going to see was, it wasn't Midnight Special, or maybe it was, but in the 90s, or maybe it was late 80s, David Sanborn.
You were just talking about this, it came up in your feed.
It knows. Floyd Collins just came up in my feed.
Facebook feed, yeah.
It knows. It listens.
So
It listens.
So did Bruce's bar.
Yeah. So Facebook, naked woman, big tits. Bring them. Yeah, line up the side door and spare ribs. Have the naked women bring spare ribs, but towels because I don't like it getting dirty on the skin. So please, yeah. Any luck? Anything? No. Anyway, but Waiting for Mary. David Sanborn, whose music I never had any interest in. It slid too far into that cool jazz awfulness that I cannot tolerate.
It's what you don't like about their buffet too. You don't like the jazz.
Yeah, just yeah. No, we were at that. We were at the Indian buffet.
You could ask them to play some,
And the place is really charming and lovely, and the food is great, and they have this buffet, and they're playing like tootly woogly clarinetti saxophone modern jazz. It sucks.
I like it.
All they got, well, yeah. I mean, it's a little too. It's not like they cranked it loud. It was just annoying in the background. But it's an Indian restaurant. Play ghazals. Play Ravi Shankar or play Shankar Soars if you must. But I don't know. But Sanborn was hosting this post Saturday Night Live show of musicians, and he actually had on this one episode. It was the end of the episode. David Thomas doing, with Per Ubu doing Waiting for Mary, backed by Debbie Harry of Blondie, Sanborn on the saxophone. There were a couple of other people. It's like the weirdest concatenation of people that you've ever seen, and yet it works. Let me see who else was there, because who else did it? It was the Hal Wilner Show Night Music, according to X thing. Who else was in there? It was I obviously can't play the music on
These
this.
are
Shut up. And let me go through. See if they list the people who are playing. No, of course they don't. And I can't see it without my glasses. Is that? It's Loudon Wainwright up there too. It just makes no sense. I think Jerry Harrison from Talking Heads. Or he's talking with them. I think no. That was in the previous segment. They're leaving the stage, but it's Debbie Harry, David Sanborn, and of course Dave Thomas of Per Ubu, and they just rock out. It's actually pretty great. So if you ever get a chance to see that, which you can just by going on YouTube, farewell to Dave Thomas, not the Wendy's guy, but the Mary guy, and a bunch of other songs from Per Ubu, who passed this past week. Well, my friends, it is, I wanted to end the show by 11, so we could go spaziering and go around
I think there's going to be a lot of rain dates, honestly, to be truthful with you. Remember the one day we went to the neighborhood yard sale, and it was like this, and there were supposed to be like 30 families, there were 2.
Yeah, I remember.
We got a glow-in-the-dark, we got that neon flamingo. We didn't really find much.
Yeah. Well, the neon flamingo was worth tracking down, but yeah.
I don't think it was.
Well, so is there anything you want to bring up or talk about, or?
No, I think you did a great job.
News of the week. I mean, Pope's dead. Oh well. I'm Jewish. Not the worst Pope, certainly. Maybe a little overvalued by liberals because he moved the needle a little bit, which is all a Pope can do. Yeah. And at least he wasn't a Hitler Youth, which made him much better than the Pope before him. I don't know if I'm up for the papacy. I sent them my resume because I'm so desperate for a job.
Said, John Lithgow was going to be the next Pope. I don't know. Maybe he played the Pope in something.
Or is he a good Catholic at home and that kind of thing?
He played the Pope.
Yeah. Or who's the comedian who's also I like him, the manatee guy.
Oh,
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
I think he would be a very nice Pope.
Yeah, but you have to be a priest, and he has like 8 kids or something. It's too late for him. You have to first go through the priesthood, then be a cardinal, then go through there's like a whole promotion system within the Catholic
and the whole
Church.
thing. You can't just
learn Italian, go to Rome, learn Latin. It's a lot.
By the time John Lithgow did that, or Jim Gaffigan, they'd be too old. Yeah. But it ain't gonna happen. Oh well. Well, I'm only 61, so you have my resume, you have my cover letter. I loaded it to the Vatican's Indeed page. You never know. I mean, the guy you all believe in was Jewish, Just saying. Just saying. And let me put it this way. When I have Mexican food, I can let out a puff of white smoke. It's not really white, is it? Anywho, you've been watching the 983rd episode of the Dave's Gone By Show. We will be back possibly next week, possibly the week after. We have to take things week by week because of the way things are going. But if we are here next week, that would be great because we get to, I'll tell you about the Sheep and Wool Festival in Maryland. That's happening next weekend, hon. We have to be here for the Sheep and Wool Festival.
What county is it? Do you see where?
It's not that far. We can drive it. It's not like all the way down.
Do we have to touch the sheep? Because I'm allergic.
I mean,
to wool.
have to?
I'm allergic to wool.
I'm going to see if I can get a dispensation to have sex with one. My God. You know. And if we really hit it off, I'll tell her, I love you. No. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Potato dressed as a rabbit holding a chicken, for being on this episode of the Dave's Gone By Show. Thank you, Potato. Did you love your pillow? I'm sure you did. Let's take a look again.
Here's the event here.
Oh, is that the sheep and wool thing? Oh boy. Okay.
No.
I accidentally hit that. That was April. Wait, this is today. Oh, this is.
Wait for it.
Okay, so one thing we were thinking about doing, but it's too expensive, and because my wife is a vegetarian, it's totally not worth it. But there is something I can't read it. Something in tacos, but I want to show them.
Put your glasses in.
Yeah, not tuna and tacos. That's horrifying. Tacos in taps. Taps for beer.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Today, it was going to be outside of the fairgrounds. They moved it into the Cow Palace. I feel like we're back in Colorado.
I know, right?
And you can be part of the VIP super muy taco session.
I want that.
I kid you not.
I want that one.
General admission, which I think is what, $45?
Well,
and
then
then
you get food and drink, and then they have like all sorts of other things you can do too.
Fiesta Grande. Get ready to put on your party sombrero. My God, the appropriation here. The Tacos and Taps Festival will take you south of the border for some foodie fun.
Ooh.
This all-you-care-to-taste beer and tequila. That's right. So
Oh
it's,
God, the tequila.
yeah. No, because some of the price, like,
What scares
yeah.
me is then people are going to be driving. Like that's what I don't like. Like
Yeah.
it's one thing to have that event, but you don't want people driving.
And in the slippery rain, too.
In the slippery rain, we're drinking a lot of
Ooh,
alcohol. So-
great live music, margaritas, contests, and many other surprises. Oh, God.
What? Tell me, I can't see.
I'm holding
What
it up.
does it say?
This is Nacho Average Taco Festival.
Oh no.
A souvenir glass for all you can care to taste experience. We'll throw in some ciders and wine as well, just for the gringos. If I tell you, there are going to be over 10 taco trucks, taquerias,
Play the trumpet.
diarrheas.
Play the trumpet.
We guarantee all will feature at least one taco option for $3. Most of them will accept taco tickets, but also cash and credit cards.
The taco tickets are what you get when you join. I can't understand that. I think
Now you can get the golden taco.
you can get a golden what?
This is how Melania Trump made her money before she met Donald. You can try her golden taco private cabana for $1,500.
No, but that means like with friends and family, right?
Yeah, for up to 10 guests. So it's only $150 a person.
That's probably better, yeah.
With your own private kiddie pool. Can you imagine a child eating rice and beans that's been sitting out in the sun and then putting it in
The kiddie
Do you know what the kiddie pool is going to look like?
I would probably get sick.
It's going to like the other end of an enema chain, for God's sakes. Oh my God. VIP Super Muy Taco ticket is only $75. Exclusive tasting experience. 4 taco tickets, a souvenir glass, and sombrero, limited admission. This is one hot tamale. And general admission is $45, where you get a glass, lots of beers, all food, though, is a la carte. So you don't get food for $45. You only get admission and alcohol.
Well, yeah, but that's probably worth it. Tequila's expensive, I'm sure. I don't
Wow.
drink. I mean, I can't drink, so.
It's 89% sold out of the regular tickets.
Wow.
Taco, oh, here we go. This is for me. Taco only ticket, $25.
Yeah.
4 taco samplings.
That's enough.
But, and, I don't want, I'll take a
You don't
beer,
want-
but yeah.
that's also good. Yeah. What do they do with kids? You're not going to be paying $89 or $100 for kids, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they have a special kids ticket thing. But anyway, that is today. If you happen to be in
We were
Maryland.
at the buffet. The woman said, "Oh, this kid is this age and that age," and I thought to myself, "Why is she telling the host?" But even for buffets, kids get a discount price.
As well
don't
they
eat
should,
as
because
much.
they don't, yeah.
They just don't eat as much, yeah.
So I don't know if they have, no, they just have general admission.
Maybe kids are free. I mean, I would hope.
That would be nice, but that's not fair to the event either. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, my wife and I are probably not going to this.
Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah. I mean, for $25, I can go, as she told me before the show started, I go to a Mexican restaurant.
That's what people are saying, like I looked on your Facebook, and they're like, here,
Yeah.
if I can find it.
And then come home and have a
Yeah,
beer.
they're saying you could find a nice patio, grab a drink, and it wouldn't be as crazy,
Yeah.
I might find
I mean, I would like to try different flavors and things from different vendors, but
Yeah,
it's okay.
I can't find it, babe.
And as you said, you were shocked that there were going to be any Mexicans there at all, because this could just be a fake ice raid thing.
No, I was not shocked. That's what somebody said in the
Yeah.
comments. They said, "Why would you do that?" And another person was, they're making fun, but
Yeah, no, if I were ICE and looking for people from across the border, I'd be like, this is a whole venue filled with Mexican trucks,
I bet you that most of the people will be the gringos.
Well, most of the crowd too.
Yeah.
But they're probably not looking for the crowd. They're probably looking for the cooks and the people behind the carts and stuff like that.
Interesting, yeah.
The sombrero weavers, if you will, who are not as good as the regular weavers because they don't have Pete Seeger. But anywho, you have been watching Dave's Gone By. Unbelievable. It's basically noon. We're supposed to be off an hour ago. It's fine. We had so much fun. I hope you had fun too. Remember, you can watch this episode over again if you want to. In just a few hours, we'll load it up onto davesgoneby.com, and it'll be there, God willing, for posterity. And you can see my posterior for posterity. So I want to thank you all for watching and listening, and again, tweeting and posting on Facebook about the show, telling people who don't know about the program about the program. Thank you to my darling, wonderful, and adorable, and amazing wife for doing the show with me and for letting me buy Nog. Oh, Nog. We'll see you possibly next week. If not next week, then the week after. We'll let you just check davesgoneby.com and we'll give you all the skivvy on that. Until then, don't miss your Daves going by and gone by.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by,
Adios!